I'll keep walking. Is it real or just a sound? Just a shadow spinning round. I keep walking. Is it real or just a sound? Just a shadow spinning round. I keep moving.
I'm Captain Lou Albano talking about drugs. Kids. I'm Captain Lou Albano talking about drugs. Kids, don't be afraid to say no. Anyone that asks you to use drugs is not your friend. Drugs can and will kill. Remember, don't be afraid to turn to your priest, your rabbi, your minister, your moms, your dads, your teachers, because drugs can kill. And if you do drugs, you go to hell before you die. Please.
Please.
Yeah, that's a way to start the show.
Exactly. You go to hell before you die if you do drugs.
I mean, you kind of have to die before you go to hell, right? Like, that's kind of
I
like
don't know.
the prerequisite there.
I wouldn't go like questioning Mario, okay?
Okay.
All right? When Mario tells you you're going to go to hell before you die.
I thought that was Wario who got drunk and put on the wrong wardrobe. That's probably more.
Speaking of the wrong wardrobe, you all remember Beast Wars and what a shock it was when we saw our heroes reanimated into a different form. In fact, we got whole new heroes like Optimus Primal and those other guys.
In the beginning came the beasts and all that creeps, crawls, and flies. But nature lies, they're robots in disguise.
You remember when they used to rhyme in commercials? Remember when you had to be a poet in order to write commercial dialogue?
It's great.
Beast Wars, the next step in Transformer evolution is here. New Maximals, heroic animals battle the evil reptile and insect forces of the Predacons. They fight tooth and claw.
Do not let Universal see this. They will turn this into a pseudo Michael Bay movie if you let them.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's probably what we're getting anyway. Isn't he been brought back for another Transformers movie? Since Transformers 1 wasn't so hot.
There's a lot going on there.
Heroic Dinobot attacks. Morphs from Raptor.
Remember that they just gave up? They're just like, what are we going to call this dinosaur transformer? I don't know. We'll call him Dinobot. Wait. Those are the name of the other guys from the G. Who cares? The kids. The freaking kids. They don't care. They weren't alive for that. Shut up. Make the dinosaur.
Beast. Into vicious robot with spinning velociraptor blades.
He's a vicious robot.
Evil waspinator full of venom changes like never before. From insect to high tech and puts the sting on Cheetor. But there's more to Cheetor than meets the eye. Under the skin lurks a robot within. With hidden weapons firing.
And he pees on them. Remember that? Remember when Cheetor just peed on the enemies?
Yeah,
just
right.
pissed on them. Wasn't that the best part of Beast
That
Wars?
seemed to be kind of a thing that I don't know. I feel like we should have planned this out a little bit better.
But treacherous tarantula mutates and counterattacks. Charging.
It's not Black Arachnia. She was too hot to be an action figure. They knew what you were going to do to that action figure, so they did not make it.
Slashing. Blasting. All new Beast Wars.
It's Cheetor marking his territory, guys.
I just want to point out that there's a group of men who didn't see their children for many months because they put all their effort into this.
Yeah. And they have deep, deep regrets these days.
Probably
The next step in Transformer evolution is here. And when you buy the Maximo Predacon 2-pack, you get a free Beast Wars comic book.
Somebody out there really cared about that.
I love the C Dance 0.2 animation we got going here for this commercial.
Yeah, the CGI is a little CGI-y. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
You
little.
know, you could feel
It's a little Mighty Morphin-y, right?
I don't know. It's like it's not even like I don't even know. Like they didn't even do that. Like that literally just it's like fuck it. I'm not gonna be a bat anymore. I'm now a man. It's just
Why did it grow like 10 times his size in one frame?
well, that's how Megatron works. He goes from being a robot that's taller than Starscream to being a gun that fits in Starscream's hand and like that. Just he just where does it all go? I don't know. Up his ass apparently.
Sure, why not?
And then, like, I am not a bat anymore. I am a man. Give me my driver's license. I am a man.
Everyone is a robot.
Well, they are. They're robots in disguise. Don't you see?
Yep.
That was the funniest thing to me. Like, nobody ever. I wonder if Mad TV, if they ever had the budget, if they would have done a parody of the Transformers where robots in disguise,
Okay.
but instead of choosing vehicles, the robots chose like mundane bowler dads. So there's like Optimus Prime and Megatron, all these guys, but they're just fat, middle-aged bowlers that transform into giant robots.
I want to actually, guys, this may be what we like to call a deep fried reference. Anyone old enough to remember a show called Rocko's Modern Life?
Oh yeah.
Do everyone remember the episode of Rocko's Modern Life when the guy turned every single room in his house into a bathroom? Does anyone remember that episode?
Was that Sheldon that did that, or Mr. Big Head?
No, it wasn't Sheldon. It was like, so he had hired someone to come in, like some TV show to come and remodel his house, and they literally turned every single room into a bathroom.
Oh.
So there's like a part where he's just like running around, like opening doors, and it's just bathrooms. Like his kitchen is a bathroom, his living room is a bathroom, his closet is a bathroom.
Truthfully, the only thing I remember from that show was Rocco going, oh baby, and no one really connecting for like 15 years that he worked at a sex call center. And
Yeah.
like it even says like the
Well, to
rules
be
are
fair-
it's on a poster on the wall behind it. Be sexy, be safe.
To be fair, that was a scene that I'm not sure if it ever officially aired or if it got cut very early on. But yeah, it was one of those things that they tried to slip through the censors and didn't exactly pass the test. So you can only imagine the things that did make air.
Oh yeah, right. Like it's all the stuff that they talk about with Disney, with the phallic tower and sex being written in the clouds. There, boy howdy, it got really different there when you start into the '90s cartoons, not those polite '70s and '80s cartoons.
The name of the restaurant was literally the Choky Chicken.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. Like again, like they were pushing, like Ren and Stimpy pushed it that much further,
yeah.
But that was a real trailblazing time before the Moms of America got the ratings installed and ruined everybody's fun.
Damn Tipper Gore.
Yeah, we'll blame her, of course. Absolutely. You gotta remember that part. But another trip down nostalgia lane here. Take you back to when you were 14 years old and it was Saturday morning. Like, say what you
So-
will about the 4Kids days, they knew how to make a freaking theme song.
I mean, let's be honest. Is there any like theme song from the 1990s that wasn't absolute fire? I mean, they just knew how to get you hyped for a show.
You know, I know one that sucked. And
boy.
I'm sorry. I know it's gonna hurt people a lot. But it was this one. It was real rough. Oh, it's so rough. You know,
For sharks.
there was an
Yeah.
attempt to make a theme song. They maybe would have done well against the Banana Splits with this theme song. Not the Turtles. They
You know,
really give it no
it's a
match.
little too much jazz. There's a little too much jazz.
I get rockabilly out of it. You know, like I expect some guy going around in like some hot rod and a tank top, and his girlfriend has like a polka dot bikini.
Nah, rockabilly is a little too 50s for this. This is like someone was like, oh, let's go to a speakeasy tonight.
Okay, yeah. It's like a beatnik jazz. People would say this is AI now.
Yeah, right.
They would say there's no way
This is AI slop.
This is fucking AI slop. How dare you?
It is absolutely unacceptable.
This is so stupid. Who would make sharks into the thing? Only AI would do this. It didn't even get them right. Sharks aren't orange, dumbass.
I do love this new trend now of people just showing just straight up footage from movies from 20, 30 years ago, telling people that it's AI, only for them to get mad.
Yeah, oh, this is awful. Like, you show them the scene of, like, Neo fighting the Smiths.
Yeah.
And tell them, like, Hollywood's not ready for Sea Dance, they will lose their minds. It just be pages. You get like 7 community notes and it still won't stop it.
Like, you can't even tell this is the real thing, and then they start like picking out the problems with the real CGI.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You show like Neo flying, taking off, the ground swelling under him and stuff like that's not even real. That's not how the ground works.
Somebody just posted like the Mighty Morphin Zord transformation from the movie, like all of the horrific CGI from that, and it was like, oh yeah, no, this is totally AI, guys. We're on our way.
Yeah, no, they absolutely would. Can't. Wow, that is absolutely hidden on here underneath a lot of kick streamers. Anyway, back to Yu-Gi-Oh.
Street Swords.
Oh no, we're going back to the good stuff.
No.
Yu-Gi-Oh. That's right. You see, you got the see-through GameCube and the see-through N64. This kid was rich. Even had a Wii. Look at that. Not see-through, notably. Because Nintendo were cowards. Like, just when you think the theme song's over, it's like, nah, we're going again. It's your move. There were just theme songs that grabbed you by the throat, and this was one of them. I dare you not to want to play cards aggressively. Like that time they drew the swastika on their hands. That was great. So Yu-Gi-Oh was big with like 5 kids I went to school with, so it was nothing. It was absolutely nothing.
I think I might have told this story here before. With Yu-Gi-Oh, I remember being really into it during the first couple of seasons. Then I just remember it dragging on for a while and a while and a while and a while. Then at some point, I remember Yugi's battle with Merrick or Malik, whoever his name is. And then he wins that battle, and then it's like, okay, I think I'm done here. I think I'm just going to stop. And then about 5 years later, I remember a part where Yami was fighting Bakura, and I was like, oh, this is still going? And then I didn't even bother to go back and look at the series. So because now the whole thing is on Tubi, I went back to watch the final episode on Tubi, and it was Yami versus Yugi. And I was like, I don't remember any of this at all. Like, I thought that for literally 20 years, I just assumed that Bakura and Yami was the final battle. Then apparently there was another final battle that happened well after.
A lot of final battles. You might say there's a smattering of them.
I was like, so at what point did this actually end?
It didn't. It's still ending. Legend has it will never end. That's the juke.
It's still going on.
But then, of course, we got Yu-Gi-Oh! Card games on motorcycles. I don't know what to call it, so there you go.
Yusei!
There's something you should know.
What is it, Yusei?
I came
What?
to this city
Oh,
to give you a message. Card games on motorcycles.
card games on motorcycles!
Card games on motorcycles.
Crow, did you hear that? Card games on motorcycles!
Card games on motorcycles.
Card games on motorcycles.
Card game on motorcycles.
Card games on motorcycles!
Card games on motorcycles.
Card games on motorcycles!
Card games on motorcycles.
Card games on motorcycles.
No, I will say this.
motorcycle!
For the concept of card games on motorcycles. You figured that at least, 4 or 5 times on this show, you would have seen someone just absolutely eat shit in a matter of like a card game on a motorcycle, right? It's like somebody be like, "And my next card, oh shit, pow!" right into a wall.
I'm going to play Light Runner. That's not a card. No, it isn't.
I'm going to play, and then like the card flies out of his ear. He's like, "Oh shit!"
That was my Blue Eyes White Drop.
And then
I'm going to play Brake Check.
his motorcycle starts weaving and wobbling, and next thing you know, he just goes front flip at like 300 miles an hour.
There were so many like bad ideas in franchise toys shows, like Power Rangers had a ton of them. All the different, like Digimon had a couple of them that were just kind of like, probably shouldn't have done that. Those kinds of things. Pokemon, of course, but none like Yu-Gi-Oh! That was like, all right, they're on a motorcycle and they're playing cards at high speeds. That's the gimmick. In order to play the Yu-Gi-Oh, they have to be on the motorcycles. And the thing is that this was one of those times when they were like, we just have to keep it going, guys. It doesn't matter. We just have to keep it going. And I don't know.
We are making too much money. We were making entirely too much cash.
That was the gimmick, right? Is that the boss was like, hey, I happen to like money. This is making a lot of money for us. So card games on motorcycles. It's one of those things where only the Japanese could make it work. You couldn't get that to be anything over here in the West because we tried to take it too seriously. Like we're sitting here discussing the very inopportune mistakes you can make while you're traveling at 200 miles an hour playing card games. But that's the genius of how the Japanese handled this. Unfortunately, the genius of the Japanese can sometimes backfire. And I say this with all due love and respect in my heart for Japan, but they've built a washing machine for human beings.
The
Yeah, no,
washing
that's-
machine for human beings, eh?
Yeah, no, it has a built-in sensor, so like it's not gonna drown you. But yeah,
I was
apparently,
say that would be a catastrophic design flaw.
yeah.
You just get locked in a pod for 20 minutes getting waterboarded. You can't get out.
It's apparently not too far off, but yeah, the water is thrashed around you while you are sitting in your human washing machine, and for about $400,000, you too can be treated like a pair of dirty socks inside of your own personalized scrubbing bubbles chamber. So, if you've ever wondered what it was like to be that lost pair of mismated sock, now you know. I don't know what possessed them to do this.
If you ever want to know what the sweet release of death actually feels like, this would be the time of experience.
Well, it's definitely Titanic Simulator, but like the back half Titanic,
Oh, yeah.
not the good part when you're above the water.
So
But
is there a good part?
this is probably something to do with elder care. Is my best guess. Is that like it? Of course, they have not so difficult tubs to get in and out of over there, but also they are a bit size restrictive. So having a lawn chair shaped thing that you could just climb into that makes sure your balls don't stink. I can see that working out for Grandpa. And that seems to be, I can't imagine a Japanese office man like enjoying this, but an old man certainly where he doesn't want to climb in and out of the tub.
Well, it seems like, I don't know, at some points I feel like there's a little too much time on our plates because it feels like now we're just making things that no one actually needs. It's like we're not actually innovating.
Torture device.
It looks like an updated version of the suicide booth. Let's be very, very clear.
Yeah.
It looks like, hey, are you too big of a pussy to get stabbed to death? Have you tried drowning?
Well, you might want to try that suicide booth after you're being harassed by AI for not saying please and thank you enough at your Burger King job. As if working retail food isn't bad enough, fast food, retail food, whatever you want to call it. This hyper-processed stuff has RFK up at night. He checks underneath his bed for I ruined
Cider.
it. For Big Macs, there it is. Sorry.
Cider, I knew I made a promise like 20 minutes ago that I wasn't going to get racist on this show, but we have to ask the question. Like, how far away are we from watching videos on X of black people getting into fights with AI robots at local fast food joints? Like, how soon are we away from that becoming a reality?
We're not even, because like we already see where there's gentlemen of a certain background who decide to become aggressive with the touchscreen menu at the touchscreen McDonald's that decided a bachelor's degree was too good for a cash register runner. So I would be a cashier if you spoke English.
This is why there's nothing but gun stores and liquor stores in your neighborhoods, by the way. I just hope you know that. Every punch you throw at the Burger King AI machine is exactly why you're only trusted with guns and liquor.
Well, I mean, they called the police. There was a lady who called the police because a certain McDonald's was out of chicken nuggies. So, but in case you're looking for training for your next venture to fast food joints around the country, check it out. Here's engineering meets gaming. How about that, huh? That's how you use a Wiimote.
That's like LA in 5 years.
This is crazy. A racing sim that simulates having an accident. Crazy. I would do this. If I could find some guys to do this, this is pretty cool. To actually be a tank crew in War Thunder, I think? No, this was World of Tanks. I think War Thunder's the plane. Yes! Yeah, look at that!
When you want to go to war, but you don't actually want to get shot.
Yeah, right. What war?
What war? There's no war going on.
There's no war? I don't know what you're talking about.
This is a peaceful weekend. Yeah, but I mean, there was about 20 years ago on E3. You guys remember E3? Remember when E3 was a thing? Is that a bygone
ancient
era
history
event
now.
Yeah. So there was a group that when during the whole Call of Duty craze, when Call of Duty was big, there was like, hey, I got an idea. Why don't we create a gaming bulletproof vest that you can put on while you're playing Call of Duty, and it actually simulates getting shot. So when you get shot in the Call of Duty game, it actually feels like you're getting shot in real life. It's like, can you imagine giving that one to someone with like a KD of like 0.42?
It's a HAP suit. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
It's,
like if you gave
feedback
that
suit.
If you gave that to Megan Anderson, she would literally die.
Yeah,
for realsies.
If you gave that to Bonnie Blue, she would literally die.
Well, she takes enough shots. She doesn't need any assistance.
Right. So they now do a VR simulator of what it would be like to live in a cool early 2000s kid bedroom. So there you go.
So pause, just quick pause. This is the problem with the whole VR setup here, right? Because it's like, it's 2026. If you want these retro gaming things, you can just buy them. Like, I'm pretty sure there's like pawn shops or retro gaming stores somewhere in your area that sells these abundantly now because of the demand for the retro market. So, like, the whole, like, in this context, the VR setup, it's like, how lazy do you have to be to essentially create a VR setup of something you can easily do in real life? Like, isn't that a little bit more satisfying?
Well, the thing is that a lot of people don't have the money for that. So, to have the full experience of being a 12-year-old in 2001, And so that's what the VR thing is about here. You can have a fully simulated, 2001 life as a floating ball, apparently. Look at that shadow. You're just a ball. You're just a ball, bro. You're just a ball. But, like, yeah, it's got all these things. All the old stuff. Like, look, there's Castle Grayskull. There's that thing. And there's a sound wavy guy and the Neo Geo screen. And there's the blue video screen with the The audio, video, and the uh-oh cable. Yeah. I Spy with my little eye. You guys want to look around the room? Let's look around.
Neo Geo, yeah, Neo Geo.
Nobody's room looked like this, by the way.
No.
Nobody's. But there's the A-Team van. There's Smokey and the Bandit. There's
First
Herbie.
of all, the
Herbie.
gaming system would have been on the floor. There would have been a lot of clothes and dirty dishes laid out everywhere. No one's room, especially like an 8-year-old's room, was ever this nice.
Exactly. This is like a museum piece. You know, you have walked in on like an archaeology, just reconstruction of a 12-year-old's bedroom in 2001. Yeah. Look at that Batmobile. Look at that thing. You could beat your sister to death with that.
Yeah, that's a murder weapon.
There's a little Voltron. That since when did we have tiny Voltron?
Yeah,
we didn't have tiny Voltron.
Yeah, who?
We had full size Voltron.
Hey, look, Batman the movie.
Yeah, that was a thing. Whoa, there's a thing on the TV.
Oh no, it's the Ninja Turtles.
Wait, he looks right at it. There it is. There's the turtle van. Mm-hmm. And then there's Ed and the Grandpa Gundam. Oh yeah, it's got all the things. Okay, nobody had an arcade cabinet in their bedroom, let alone 2 of them. All right, let's get a little crazy, okay? Get a little crazy. I don't know who you are, Mr. 2 arcade cabinets in your bedroom, but no. I don't even think... Do you remember that movie about the kid that got the blank... I think the movie was called Blank Check. And he, like, used his Mac laptop to simulate a computer voice. And people were like, yeah, no, that's a human. That doesn't sound at all like a simulated voice.
Just go with it, bro. Stop questioning the premise.
Yeah, right? There's $1 million here. I don't care if you sound like a robot. That's fine. Just sign here, Mr. Robot. Oh, you're going to have a 12-year-old act as your attorney? Okay, that's great. Sign here, 12-year-old.
Okay, I will say this. I am old enough to remember going to a Blockbuster back in the day and playing Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on the Sega Genesis at the Blockbuster.
Yeah, right? Mm-hmm. That was a thing. I didn't have Blockbuster up here. We had Movie Gallery.
Yeah, but I'd say the concept of people having their own personal arcade machines, not a thing.
No. And a whole ass R2D2? A whole ass R2D2 in the bed? No.
The person who would actually be old enough to afford this setup is someone who would probably be on a list if their bedroom actually looked like this.
Yeah, like I said, this is a museum piece. This isn't 12-year-old in 2001 simulator. This is a museum piece. It was like, this is what it was like to be alive and a nerd in 1995.
Yeah.
Wow. Neat. Look at that. You can play a game inside of the game.
That's literally where we're at now.
Look at that. Well, that's the test of
gameception. Cider, it's gameception. You're playing video games within a video game.
That's the test of simulation theory. Mm-hmm. If we can create a simulation that the beings that we generate inside of those simulations cannot tell that they are in a simulation, then we have successfully proven simulation theory. Which sounds like a really stupid way to do that, but oh well. See, these guys are too retarded to know that they live in Minecraft. We live in a simulation of our own. Yeah. Like, this isn't a cutscene. You're literally just sitting here in a bedroom playing Street Fighter on an arcade.
With the Ninja Turtles theme going on in the background. Because that wouldn't get old very fast.
Well, like, it plays a whole episode is my assumption. Because if there's a whole game here, there must be a whole episode. So you're just sitting there and you're listening to Probably Teenage
You know what
Mutant
this
Ninja
is?
Turtles or whatever. You probably put Batman in there too, just because they want to get sued.
You know what this is? At the end of the day, this is what we like to call
A cry for help.
Close. It's a digital prison. This is a digital
Yeah.
prison. This is your own digital personal hell. You have created a digital form of happiness that you must go to at all times of the day. Whenever you separate yourself from your digital happy zone, your life gets significantly worse. This is hell. This is what hell looks like.
Yeah. There was a.
It's like the Key and Peele sketch. It's like, yeah, you're at the party, you'll just never leave.
Yeah, Mr. Bones' Wild Ride. But there was the past apparently had a better idea about the future. Ads before minimalism.
Yep.
I miss this. I really do. There was just something about this aesthetic. Like I was talking about this in a video the other day about how we have this techno cyber fantasy thing going on where the computer was still this uncharted realm that could do magic. The internet was a magical place. So you could create all these crazy things inside of it. And it could do like reboot, you know, where people are inside of the computer and they have to fight against the user in order to keep parts of the computer from disappearing. That was like the part that I had a problem with. Where like, you want a video game, it would screw up your computer. But I don't think that's how it works. But again, like this was a really great period of time because people were looking at this technology and they were thinking, man, you know, what if it wasn't going to destroy us? What if, in fact, we were going to ride around space in chrome bubbles with plastic clothes? Remember when everybody was going to wear plastic? We were going to go around space in chrome bubbles. And we were going to be.
Remember when
plastic.
everything was chrome and silver, and that was the color of the future. Y2K, bro.
There was a whole SpongeBob episode about that. Remember? Mm-hmm. Where
we quickly felt like when you look back at the decade of the 2000s, you realize that it was really split between the first half of the decade and the second half of the decade. It was almost as if it was a whole decade split in and of itself. The first half of the 2000s, the early 2000s, was great. The second half, not so much. You can almost say that everything in our society really started to tumble towards that second half. Yeah. Because, like I said, all of the stuff that they're showing here, this is all stuff from like the first half. This is like from like 2000s, maybe 2002, somewhere within that time frame. We were still coming off of the high of the 90s, but yet coming to terms that the 90s were over and we were in the new millennium, the new decade. And then so somehow a few years later, we got like Lady Gaga and Katy Perry, and no one knows how we got here.
Well, you know, Taylor Swift and all that other stuff.
Yeah, it's great.
It's still a mystery, but that, again, like this is the age of when we were exploring the concept of technology still.
These type of ads is what inspired young people to get into advertising and marketing under the guise that, oh, I can do this when I grow up. And then they grew up and then realized, oh, games changed. Sorry, you owe $50,000 in student loan debt.
Sorry, you suck now.
Sorry.
Yeah, that was the best part where, like, you know, you get to be an adult and you're like, oh, yeah, man, I'm going to do some so good. I'm going to help the world. I'm going to educate some. Nope. Mm-hmm. Nope. Here's World War III. Screw you.
Yep.
By the way, we're blocking out the sun. Just BT dubs.
Here's expensive healthcare you can't afford.
Good luck.
Good luck being an adult now.
Yeah.
At least you can drink, right?
Yeah, at least you're gonna live long enough to see man-made horrors beyond your comprehension.
Yeah.
Like the human washing machine.
If only someone told you in 2004, hey, enjoy it now because it's going to get really rough after this.
So this was really good. This was fun. I don't know who this guy is. Apparently he's popular on TikTok because he painted his wall a chalkboard. And that's what you do. But I love this. So it may get a little weird, but just bear with it.
We need to vote schizos into office. This is the secret war that's been going on since the dawn of time. Now, most of the world is made up of normies.
Right? Most of the world is normies. We all know this, okay? You can't go anywhere without tripping all over them. We don't say mudbloods around here. That's mean.
Now, these people are taken advantage of very easily by psychos. They prey on these people, they manipulate these people, they trick these people.
Psychos. How many of those have been kidnapped recently or blown up?
Normies, unfortunately, cannot see psychos, but you know who can? Schizos, the heroes of our story. Schizos are the natural predator of psychos.
Now, if you ever wondered what the mongoose was to the snake in the tree, all right, that was deceiving Eve, you now know the schizo is the natural hunter.
Basically, the schizos can see the demons. The normies are like, what are you talking about? I don't see anything.
And the demons are like, yeah, I can't see it either. Get this guy away from me.
We have pattern recognition abilities that are inexplicable. Now, schizos were once upon a time revered as the kind of wise people of their collective groups. Unfortunately, since psychos run the world, they've convinced all the normies to be afraid of the schizos.
So I'm just going back and I'm trying to think, like, was Churchill a schizo? I don't think so. Maybe Eisenhower was, though. I don't know. His speech was pretty schizo-y. Like, hey, I just want to let you guys know about this thing called the military-industrial complex, and it's going to eat the world. Not now, not in the next 10 years, but probably in the time of your grandchildren, it will have fully consumed the entire planet. And,
Hey, remember back in the 1980s where these people who were what we labeled the satanic panic, they were making these crazy arguments that people were out there eating and torturing children, and it was like, oh no, we would never do anything like that. You're crazy, you're kooky. And then all of a sudden we got these leaked emails that confirmed basically what people said 40 years ago was happening.
Schizos, who knew?
I make videos sometimes online, and my wife tells me, look at my Oura ring. My heart rate increased to a very stressful state watching your video, and then it went back down. Sorry, babe. Psychos benefit from their lack of empathy and their attraction to cruelty, it seems, and that allows them to accrue a lot of power. That power allows them to manipulate.
If there's any justice in the world, when everyone is dead and we're all in judgment, the normies who are going to sit there and be like, wait, so that was actually going on? And the schizos just get one good slap across the face. Be like, yep, we told you, dummy. Yeah. Just one good smack.
To fear the schizo, to ostracize the schizo, to deny the schizo.
Deny the schizo.
Deny the schizo. Be one with the schizo.
Deny the schizo.
Never feels very good to say I told you so when you're a schizo, and the I told you so's you're seeing are about like pedo elites running the world and stuff like that. That feels bad when you go, well, I told you so. But schizos, wish we'd listened to you sooner. But that's my point. We need to stop fearing and ostracizing the schizo.
It's like a TED Talk. Hello, everybody. I'm here to tell you all that we need to stop fearing and ostracizing the schizos and instead bare our fangs at the psychos running everything. So the normies don't get too twisted with their mood rings.
All I'm saying is the schizos have scored like 35 unanswered points, and the normies are not looking very good at the moment.
And start opening our ears and hearts to hear the truth that they're telling us. Because the conspiracy theorist schizo is almost always right. Now, yes, they'll get some of the details around the edges a little wrong. It sounds a little literal. You can understand it as poetry and metaphor. I'll give you an example. Birds aren't real. That's a fun conspiracy theory, that they're just little listening device robots that exist. Now
they are actual robot birds that can spy on you. And
yeah. Turns out some of the pigeons were actually fake.
Yeah, that was real.
There are real birds. We know that to be true. But are there also listening devices and surveillance devices everywhere?
And in the birds? Yes.
Hidden in the
We're not
natural
saying
world?
the birds don't exist. We're just saying, are they all birds?
Do they all exist?
Exactly.
Are we sure that we have a breed called a pigeon? Are we sure about that? That might all just be drones. It could all be drones.
It seems we don't even know what the natural world is anymore. We can't even trust.
Isn't it funny how the
They're doing
normies
things without telling us? They're observing us.
The normies don't believe in absolutely anything the schizo tells them to, right? But for some reason, the normies are just 100% certain that they're aliens. They have never seen any evidence of their existence whatsoever, but they're sure that they're out there. That's the one. That's the one angle that they'll accept with no evidence whatsoever.
And the government that hid the truth about these baby-eating psychos is definitely going to be 100% honest about what they're going to tell us about those aliens that we've never seen before. Yeah.
The child-eating satanic psychopaths are definitely going to tell us the 100% truth about the aliens. Just don't worry, guys.
Don't doubt it. Don't blink. It's going to be
They
great.
may have lied about literally everything else, but this one thing is where they're going to tell us the truth.
They have literally lied about everything else, but this one thing is going to be the thing that they open up and they tell us 100% is the truth right now because what else do they have to lose, right, guys? Think about it.
Guys, look.
If they don't tell us and the aliens show up anywhere, they're going to be like, oh, well, we had the opportunity.
Guys, I know they've literally lied to us about everything over the course of the last human century, but they would never lie to us about something like, I don't know, the Earth being round or space being real or why we spend billions upon billions of dollars to make sure no one goes to Antarctica. They would never lie about something that's too big for them to lie about.
And now we're going to talk about giant robots because those came from outer space and the future.
Yeah.
So, do you remember Megas XLR?
Oh, man, that sounds familiar.
How about now?
I definitely recall this, but I don't think I watched it at the time.
Oh, wow. Okay, so finally, one that Cider knows that Jacob doesn't. How about that?
No,
this
guys,
was so cool.
I was gonna say just real quick, my Cartoon Network era ended like somewhere around 2000 after Dragon Ball Z.
Oh yeah, okay, all right.
Mm-hmm. And you know what killed it? It was because during 2000, if you were watching Dragon Ball Z, I think they were just barely going into like the Android saga at that point, like very, very early on. Meanwhile, on like the Hispanic channels, they were already on Majin Buu. And you were like, how the fuck did they get the Majin Buu already? I'm still watching the Androids. So once you figured out that the other channels were way far ahead, it's like, okay, I don't even need this anymore.
So, Megas XLR, of course, was a Cartoon Network production, and then for whatever reason, they absolutely hated this.
Because it sounds like a Mega Sex LR?
I guess, but Megas XLR was a show about a fat gamer guy who somehow managed to trick a junkyard owner into letting him buy, for like couch change, a 50-foot tall robot or 80-foot tall robot that didn't have its head. And Coop, the character right here, hooks up his convertible hot rod. It looks like a Barracuda. I think it's a Barracuda. Plymouth Barracuda as the head of the robot. And so he literally has to shift gears and turn the steering wheel and also hit all the buttons that control all the weapons and things like that. It makes fun of the joystick. How the joystick in the Gundam can do everything. Like you could do like backflips and sword tricks and you just wiggle, waggle with the joystick. Where Coop was just like, he would bring out like a PS2 controller and do like all these cheat code commands into the thing. And then Megas would like have all of these guns and like blast away the alien in one shot and stuff like that. That was the comedy of the show. It was to make fun of the giant robot genre, but in like a loving way. So Megas was the superest of super robots and could just obliterate anything in its path. Its greatest weakness was its pilot. That Coop just couldn't figure out which way, most of the time, he couldn't figure out which way he wanted to get rid of the alien. That was the thing that delayed the battle the longest, was him trying to figure out the method in which he wanted to dispatch the villain of the week. Love it. Love it. And where he got the money for this, I don't know, but it was a great show, and I miss it.
Don't ask questions.
Living here in Jersey, fighting villains from afar. You gotta find first gear in your giant robot car.
restart. But yeah, so that was a good one. I missed that show. You guys remember Megas XLR? What? You guys don't remember Megas XLR? Come on, man. Yeah, Sagittarius Say, it was a really great time. It was really experimental for television. There wasn't like the perfect formula to keep a child engaged for 10 minutes at a time. Nobody knew what they were doing anymore, you know?
Express yourself.
The, did you,
go ahead.
What's that?
No,
I had another video.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, never mind. There's, oh, I thought he committed suicide. He's a base jumper. Never mind. I was just scrolling by on this one page, and it was like showing a guy jumping off the railing at the old Trade Center, and I was like, "Well, fuck!" It's just a video of some guy committing suicide right here on X. But no, he's a base jumper. You see the parachute like go after a while, and I was like, "Oh gosh." So let me take you back to a ye olde time when you had to connect to the internet by using a phone number. This is in Britain, of all places. Might be on its rise again. Who knows? We have to see what happens with Rupert Lowe. But what you have right here is how to send an email in 1984.
Why does that guy look like the love child of Andre the Giant and like Bruno Sammartino?
Yeah, I know. When I looked at this, I was like, that's like a really small Andre the Giant. I don't know what has happened here. Is this AI?
Yes, well, it's very simple, really. The telephone is connected to the telephone network with a British Telecom plug, and I simply remove the telephone jack from the telecom socket and plug it into this box here, the modem. I then take another wire from the modem and plug it in where the telephone was. I can then switch on the modem and we're ready to go. The computer's asking me if I want to log on, and it's now telling me to phone up the main Pressel computer, which I will now do.
Here we go. So, apparently there was a British show that you could watch other people doing tech things while someone else watched them do tech things at the same time. And I don't know why, but leave it to the Brits to complicate everything.
It's a very simple connection to make.
It's a very simple connection to make. Yes, you don't have to call up the Native Americans to send smoke signals. You don't need a telegraph. You don't need a man to hop in a boat and carry a literal letter across the Atlantic Ocean.
What's your hipping and the hopping and the bipping and the bopping?
Have you been following PsyOp anime?
Actually, yeah, I've been all in on this content on basically the entire weekend, and I wish I knew what program this person used because I would love to do animation styles like this. But yeah, this person has been my new favorite person. Apparently, a lot of people don't like him at all.
So, as far as I know, they're using Midjourney to generate the visual, and then animating it with Grok because the lips line up.
Okay.
So I could be wrong.
Grok is a very... from my experience, Grok is a very, very unstable engine when it comes to kind of matching prompts, especially with any kind of like motion and mouth. Like there was one particular scene I was trying to do last night. I was basically just trying to get it to repeat a very simple sentence. It wasn't even like anything complicated. Just repeat this very simple sentence and it'll go, "Welcome to high school." And it's like, no, how did you? And then, yeah, so it's very, very frustrating from that aspect. It does. There are things with animation that it does well, but like I said, it is very, very unstable at times as well, too.
So this PsyOp Anime just posted this one at 6:30 when we went live. So here we go. I believe this is Hillary.
私はもう終わりだ。侮辱罪で訴えても構わない。もう終わりなんだ。
彼を大使に任命した際、メンデルシンがエプスティーンの有罪判決後も関係を持っていたことをご答弁。とにご存知でした。
この国の安全保障を損なる可能性のあるものを公開するために投票することは、これは議論しなければなりません。
アメリカ国民に説明できるか。なぜお前は子供を人身売買し犯したスグマン庁舎を守っているのか。なぜお前を人身売の儀式を 犯した億万乗車を守っているのか。
ダウ平均は今5万ドルを超えています。S&P は7000ビゼン、ナスディックも過去最高を更新しています。それこそ話題にすべきことです。それがエプスタインのファイドと何の関係があるんですか？本気ですか？
Pause right there. Very, very interesting how I think we talked about this like last week here too. It's like the implication of what she said obviously made a lot of people go, okay, she's clearly an idiot. But let's just pause here for a second. What if what she's saying isn't stupid and is actually true? That's actually the more terrifying reality of it. Is what she's saying is that if we were to actually release the names that everyone pretty much knows who are part of it at this point, then yeah, it would actually be the downfall financially of our company, because we can, when you find out the names of the bankers and the financial apps and the government officials who have been involved with this for many, many years, the Dow will literally throw up on itself and die, is what they're saying there. So if she's being truthful, that's actually more terrifying than the possibility she's more like just an idiot.
So the problem is that this was not the time to bring that up. And certainly how it was worded was very wrong.
That's what I was saying. Like in the context of the question that he asked her, it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever unless you go with the implication that by doing this, this is going to be the fallout, which is the only way you can make sense of what she said. But even I don't think she's that smart, and that's what she meant.
It seems more like there was a concerted effort to not publicly discuss the files. Again, like she's like, it's on my desk. Oops, everything's been redacted. Oops, it does exist. You know, Cash Patel's like, there is no group of people, and there's a shit ton of names that are redacted. Apparently, there is a group of people, Cash. And see, this is the problem.
Are you being threatened? Blink twice for yes, once for no.
So this is the problem: is that like you have this inquiry that happened, and nobody there was being honest.
No.
The people asking questions, everybody wanted to skewer Pam Bondi to be the hero that led to the deeper end of the Epstein files, that sort of stuff. And then Pam, of course, couldn't answer any questions because they were all going to lead to, do you know how many times President Trump is mentioned in there? And that just leads into the questions of how close was he with Epstein? And it's the whole circus all over again of, yes, the president had relations with him. Yes, the president decided he didn't want to have relationships with him anymore and was integral to getting him arrested the first time back in 2009. You know, it's just
which is funny because, like I said, it's funny for guys like us who have actually been paying attention to this story for well over a decade, because all of this stuff, this is kind of what bugs me about this. All of this stuff we've kind of known for like well over 10 years at this point. Like the stuff that people are now talking about now in 2026, this was information we already knew back in 2015. If you actually were following the, like I said, the Podesta story and then the WikiLeaks story and all the other things going on to it, you've known a lot of this for a decade already. It's now that because you have people who are trying to manipulate this story to their political means on both the left and the right, now everyone's going out here acting like this is new information. It's like, it's really not. Like, it's really not that new and things of that nature. Like, the whole idea is like, oh, no, can you believe that Tom Hanks and Pusha T and Chris Tucker are implicated? We knew that like a decade ago. It's like, this isn't new information. The only new information is all the new code words that people have discovered from the new emails that they didn't previously know before. That's the only real new information that we've gotten here so far. And that's the part of the story that absolutely nobody wants to talk about, right? They all want to talk about whose name is mentioned how many times. No one wants to talk about what does beef jerky actually mean, and why are a bunch of 50-year-old childless adults talking about going to pizza parties all the time? Let's talk about that aspect. No one actually wants to talk about that portion of it. So it's like, if we're not talking about that, then like, why are we talking about this?
Well, and that's just it, is that imagine, if you will, that you are Joe Sixpack and you have not followed this for 10 years and you have no clue that any of this was happening, and it's all just been red team versus blue team, and those guys are the bad guys because they want to raise the taxes, and those guys are the bad guys because they want to go to war and that kind of thing. It's all very simple. You don't go to protests, you just do your job. Occasionally you get pissed off at your neighbors on Facebook because their opinions are different than yours, and you scoff at the other team's signs when you see them, like at the roadside or whatever, you know? So you're just completely disconnected. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, Congress starts talking about people in I can't name anybody because I don't want to get sued into oblivion in case it's one of those things where it's conspiracies and they didn't, but they were around the people who did. So let's
allegedly, but probably.
Right. So allegedly, but probably people who have names that begin with B and G may have been eating babies on an island and had become addicted to that meat. And had begun producing a farm in which a certain kind of religiously prepared meat in that style was provided in limited quantities by Mr. Epstein, okay? All of a sudden, that just comes out of nowhere. So meanwhile, you've just been like, Bill, that guy, he's all about getting us the vaccines. He's a weirdo. He jumps over chairs. All of a sudden, people are like, yeah, he eats babies. And you're like, well, that's weird that guy would do that. We should arrest him. But then they're like, every major influential person on this planet has had something to do with this group. And you're just Joe Sixpack, and you had no idea that any of this wasn't just those guys have the wrong idea, the old Reagan years. That it was just people disagreeing politely at the dinner table. It wasn't literal baby-eating Satanists, And that's why they don't do it. Because you go introducing that stuff to people, and they're not going to pull up out of it. They can't. There's no way back. They have no choice but to go riot. There's nothing. You can't tell them to go pray, because what are you telling them to do? You're telling them to trust that this is all going to be okay. There's no way to go to sleep on that. Yep. There's no way to, if you legitimately believe that there are this stuff happening and you haven't had 10 years to think about it, okay? Like you and I and some of the chat probably, we've had some like toe in the pool or maybe up to our neck in a lot of this information. It's just getting it confirmed now has been very disturbing.
I said, guys like us, this has been just more confirming what we've already known. For people who are only just now consuming this information, you have one or two options. You have the people who, even though they talk about the Epstein files all the time, they're still in denial about what's actually happening within these files because they don't want to be like a conspiracy theorist or anything like that, which means they really don't care about what's going on. The other half of it has kind of just been thrown into the deep end here, and they don't really know how to, I guess, accept the things that have been revealed here because they're very, very dark and they're very, very sinister. And that's kind of the what's the best way of describing it? It's kind of the consequence of digging your head in the sand for a good part of the last 10, 15 years and coming to realize, oh, wait, you mean that stuff wasn't a bit, that they weren't just, you mean it wasn't just art, bro? You mean that they actually, so.
Well,
exactly.
I mean, even then, what kind of art is it? You're doing that stuff, But from one art form to another, less toxic to the chat, let's put it that way. Jonathan Majors. Yeah, Jonathan Majors. It's like Voldemort. But Jonathan Majors is set to co-star with Zachary Levi in a new movie for Daily Wire. Ben Shapiro will be producing this stunning and brave production. Now, if you're not familiar, Mr. Majors got a little handy with his girlfriend. And by a little handy, I mean he strangled her in public. And people were like, hey,
were
you can't do that. And his time as Kang in the MCU ended in that moment.
Yeah.
And he has been on the outs for quite some time. Now, Mr. Shapiro, sensing that Mr. Majors still has more to give, decided to be merciful upon him and say, who hasn't strangled a bitch? So come on over and let's make a movie.
Can we talk about this aspect here just for a second? Like, I want you guys to kind of understand this, like how quickly things have changed. This guy, Jonathan Majors, 3 years ago, was supposed to be the face of the Marvel Cinematic Universe moving forward, meaning that Disney, Marvel Studios, put all of their eggs in the basket of Jonathan Majors to be the next Thanos of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He was supposed to appear in multiple movies, multiple television shows, the entire... I don't know what phase we're on right now, stupid phases, but the entire thing was supposed to be built around him. We were at a point where I believe had this had not happened, the Kang Dynasty would have already have been released at this point, barring any other delays, and that would have led to essentially, what was it, the Secret Wars movie. So they put everything into Jonathan Majors. Then he got himself into a little bit of trouble in Brooklyn. And then on top of that, what made things even worse is that...
And his mom got scared.
Yeah, right. But no, so not only that, they also... the movie Ant-Man 3 that he appeared in, that was his debut for his character, technically. That flopped. It lost money. No one was excited.
He got beat by ants.
He got beat by a bunch of communist ants. Absolutely shit-stomped and embarrassed. And then the last time we saw him, it was literally a stadium of Kangs hooting and harling like a bunch of monkeys, right? That's literally what the whole thing was. So I just want to point this out, that this is where his trajectory was just 3 years ago. And now he's doing movies with Ben Shapiro at the Daily Wire.
Well, folks, you may have seen this rumor that we here at Daily Wire are working with Jonathan Majors on a new movie. And that rumor is absolutely true. Yeah, I know. There are a lot of people on the left, on X, and they're very upset about this. There's lots of tweets. Okay, here's the deal, you whiny little bitches. We don't care, because Jonathan Majors was canceled all the way back in 2023. We're ecstatic.
Way back.
Well, like I said, considering the trajectory here, 3 years ago has been a very, very long time for Mr. Majors.
He's unbelievably talented, and if you're upset now, wait until you see this film. Your heads are going to
pause for
explode.
a second. Imagine being told 3 years ago you're literally going to be the face of Marvel for the next 10 years, and then 3 years later you're teaming up with Shazam for a Ben Shapiro movie.
That'll make people's heads explode. They played a sound effect and everything.
Yeah.
Like, actually maybe explode. It's pretty spectacular stuff that we're doing. That's what we do here at Daily Wire. We fight the fight. We need your help to continue to fight in the culture and to win. And to do the...
I like that he has like a Viagra theme song in the background, you know, like he fixed his erectile dysfunction, the background song.
I like how he's dressed like he hid behind a bush between like hole 10 and hole 11 in order to record this video.
Yeah, also the pink and the green, thinking watermelon here. What's he trying to send here? What's he trying to say about Mr. Majors, huh? Ben. Layers of flavors, Ben. Layers of flavors.
The thing no one else will do. So please, come join us here at DailyWirePlus.com. Join the fun.
It's okay. You can keep that fun, bud. Have all the fun you like, little buddy.
Yeah, here's the problem, Ben. If you're going to create a streaming service, you have to have content to justify said streaming service. And you guys really don't have any content to justify it at this point. I get what you're doing here, but unless you're going to provide like, hey, look, you know, we're kind of up and coming, we'll give you something for $5.99 a month and build from there. At least that's more reasonable than like, you know, the $15, $25, $30 options from the big markets. But yeah, you got to adjust your strategy there. I'm not sure how much is going to work long term there, buddy. You want to go to the Bizarro world for a second?
Yeah. More bizarre than Ben Shapiro and Jonathan Majors teaming up.
Well, I mean, it's kind of in line here. So, this is a video that was broadcast from 2001. This was right.
Where did he get abducted by aliens?
But this is a video.
Flying Torah came and got him.
This is from 2001. This was very shortly after 9/11. This was on the Disney Channel. This was during Disney's Zoog Disney era. So this was before.
Oh, wow.
So we're going back in it. This was before For those of you guys who don't know, this is before Miley Cyrus, Demi Lovato, Selena Gomez. This is before Hilary Duff. This is before Raven Simone. All of this, right? I want you to listen to what is being said. I want you to listen to what is being said in this video, and you're going to feel like for the next 90 seconds you are on a completely different planet than where you are right now.
The flag means everything to me. It means life. It means freedom.
Yeah, I'll just start here. Sorry about that.
It means everything to me. It means life. It means freedom. It also means unity, and it means love. You see American flags everywhere, and it reminds you, but it also makes you really proud. I spent my whole life pledging allegiance, and I don't think I can ever look at a flag the same way.
The flag stands for us as a group of people being united and being with each other in a time of need.
I saw a fire truck pass by the other day, and it had an American flag on it, and it was blowing in the wind. It was so amazing, and everyone just started clapping and cheering, and it was really special.
The only one that probably meant it, really, the only one that probably meant it was Hillary, really.
I have to say this just in case anyone thinks this is not AI. This is not artificial intelligence. This is not clean. This is not CDAN. This is a literal ad that ran on the Disney Channel in 2001. This is all legit.
To drive cross country, we saw the flags, saw the proud to be American flashing signs on the highway.
All the flags, you know, you ride down the street and it makes you feel connected.
But there's a different opinion now.
We're in this together.
It's a beacon. Especially from people of her perspective. Just throwing that out there.
He said profession, not complexion. He said profession, not complexion.
Yeah. Sure.
Peace and liberty and justice and democracy, and we can hold it up high and hold it up proud.
Driving down streets and seeing, 16 houses all having their flags up high, and driving with my little American flag on my car. We've all come together in such unity. It's just amazing.
It's so awesome to see flags on everybody's car. We're so united. We are really in the United States.
We should try to keep the flags flying to show that we still remember and that we still care and that we're still together in this.
Now, more than ever, it's
Buffy.
important for people like you to express themselves every day.
Well, I'm glad to see that after 25 years, we've kept that whole trend going, right? I'm pretty sure they love the American flag in 2026 just as much as they did in 2001, right, Cider?
Every one of them. Not a one of them would dare think otherwise about the good old red, white, and blue.
Mm-hmm. I wonder how they feel about seeing an American flag on the back of a fire truck in 2026. I wonder if they still feel all bubbly and happy as they did before, right? I mean, we're still flying the American flag 25 years later, right? Cider, are you saying that the people who said that we would never forget actually forgot?
Yeah.
Okay, come on. Next thing you're going to tell me is that 25 years later, a Muslim is going to be in control of New York City, the same place that got attacked in 9/11. Come on. Go Cider.
I didn't vote for him, okay? I don't live there. But they're having a real tough time with the shoveling because not a lot of people want to live there anymore.
And again, I just want to emphasize here. This aired on Disney. Disney. Like, we just get thrown into like alternate universe.
Old Disney. No, this is old Disney. See, this is what happens in 1984. Is that everything that was, not the year, but the book. So like everything that was before gets erased and only the current exists. You see? Yeah. And in this way, people can't have this moment where they go back and say, wait a minute. How come Disney Channel, the Lord High Mucky Muck commander of family entertainment, was pro-America, and now you can barely find anybody that works at the corporation that wants to admit they were born here.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened? You can't do that. You have to have the ever-present present. Otherwise, you have people looking back and asking questions, and those are pesky.
Because when you show someone I know you can isolate this to either the Disney Channel back then or even America back then for one. Because let's be honest here. Let's go back to 2001. Very shortly after 9/11, Americans were completely unified against terrorism. They were hyper patriotic. I mean, let's be honest, about 90% of this country back at that time period put all of their petty differences aside, and we were all, it was arguably the last time in American history this country was completely unified, like 90-10 back then, right? So that was the last time. Like, people talk about, the dream of what America should have been. That was arguably the last time that it happened here. And now you just see where we are now. And you see the hard swing we've taken from one side to another. And when you see such a vast difference from one thing to another, it's like watching, like when you see like photos of Detroit from like where it was 20 years ago to what it is now, something bad happened, right? So it's only logical to come to the conclusion, what happened? How did we go from this to whatever the hell it is now? Why is it that Palestine is the only flag that these people are proud of now in 2026? When did that happen? What changed in the matrix? And it's almost like you've noticed that something deliberately happened to our culture, to our society, and to our nation that wasn't good. But don't ask questions.
Well, the thing is you have to ask yourself, right? What was the goal behind all of that? Mm-hmm. And the only thing you can conclude is that you have to erase what it is to be an American, because we are probably the most annoying kind of people on the planet. So that when we don't like something, we'll take over a country. Well, we have a very awkward reputation of having wars, skirmishes, Waco, Texas. We have some moments, and so the goal is to erase what it is to be an American. Out of all the nations on Earth, we're the ones that have the most likelihood of rising up and creating a big bad problem for everybody, because believe it or not, we're the most armed of all the nations. And so you have to break what it is to be an American in order to make sure that you can conquer what it is to be an American. And what better way to do that than to pummel people with the destruction of their identity right in their faces?
Yep.
And that's why everything's so corporate and plastic and fake now.
And so if you guys watched Saturday Night Live this weekend, they had the men's and women's hockey team that just won gold on the show. The lefty liberal group, which is basically SNL's audience at this point, didn't want to really embrace the men's team because they were upset at them. Why? Because after they won gold, they went to the White House and celebrated with Trump, and they got really, really upset by that. The women's team didn't. So they cheered the women's team, acting like their accomplishment was far superior than the men's team, for the sole purpose that they refused to go to the White House. And that's how fractured we are now in 2026, where, again, go back to 2001. I gotta keep this in mind here too. It's not like these kids that you're watching in this video are Bush votes, right? They're not Republican kids. This was just kind of the normie sentiment of 2001. But we've gone so far in the other direction. This could be used as like Bush or Trump propaganda now if this ran in 2026. Like, this would literally be called right-wing propaganda in 2026. That's how far we've shoved. Exactly. This is how far we've shoved the window the other direction.
Speaking of the childhood we don't have anymore. Oops, got to remove it from the stage. There we go. We'll do this. Check this out. Remember those bumpers that Cartoon Network used to make?
Oh, yeah. I can never find a parking space after lunch.
Cartoon Network keeps adding stars without adding parking spaces.
Or there's a space
reserved for Papa Smurf.
Bloody freaking die.
Wise Papa Smurf, corrupted by his own
Poor Thundar. He doesn't have a private parking spot.
power. Can no leader go undated?
Hey, fellas, looking for a parking space? You can take mine.
Now, this guy's a true hero.
Could have sworn I parked in the Wally Gator F lot. Or was it in... Boy.
Now I remember. I flew into work today. Silly me.
Oh, brother.
Oh, man, look, there's one.
Oh, no. But, yeah, you can see all the wacky racer cars here that are parked up alongside the regular people cars.
All right,
What? Hold on. Why are Scooby and Speed Racer going to lunch together?
It was just advertising everything that was on the network at the time. There was no rhyme or reason. Why is Chicken from Cow and Chicken in a car with the Flintstones?
Well, I get that they're like working, they're like the Al Bundy characters. That's why they're, well, Thundar, I guess, maybe not, but
yeah, right.
All right, boys, I need your foot power to help me gun it.
maybe they all like the same sports team. Jane.
That does it. I'm gonna start taking the bus away.
They're still looking for it tonight. But yeah, this is what they used to do back in the day. Used to have a little bit of humanity in your ye olde cartoon bumpers between commercials.
I got a cartoon bumper from this network too. Now, I gotta warn you, this was basically recorded on the equivalent of a Texas Instrument calculator in the year 2000, but some of you guys may get a memory unlock from this if you're an old school Cartoon Network watcher.
Oh yeah, there we go. That first note. Somewhere out there, these costumes are existing. And people haven't had too much sex in them yet, of course.
It's in a shack somewhere. It's in someone's shack, I'm sure.
Al Bundy and Uncle Rico, the best 1 and 2 quarterback that never was in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take it. But yeah, no, that's what happened back in the day is we used to have good stuff. We used to have some concerted effort in our entertainment. Of course, such things are just not allowed to exist anymore.
No. Like I said, as I said earlier, it's like the early part of the 2000s was pretty good and pretty based, and something happened in the second half that it was just we never ever truly recovered from.
I mean, we also had this.
Now again, we're working on the upper chest here because we're at an incline. It focuses more on the upper area of the chest. Good, Sherry. There you go. Perfect.
I will say this.
Now you have to pay to watch this.
Yeah, right? Back in my day, you just had to stay up to 2 o'clock in the morning to see stuff like this.
You could just watch women workout videos at 4 a.m. in the morning for some reason because some mom somewhere was up and thinking, gee, I need to be able to bench press 100, 200 pounds.
Yeah. This was back in the day where there was the weird combination of like bodybuilder body and like stripper boob job that never really quite came together.
Yeah, it was like if barbed wire actually had to earn it. That was the body style, and it just, it never, the Sears catalog, it was pretty close
exactly
to it.
right.
I don't remember, this isn't like the Total Gym or anything, it just, for whatever reason, at like 5 a.m., Sci-Fi was like, do you guys want to watch some hot women try to sell you workout equipment?
Yeah, right. Wouldn't you guys be totally into this?
Yeah, I don't know. Sci-Fi was like, yeah, no, we have an athletic audience. They absolutely would want a home gym.
Sometimes I superset, sometimes I train heavy, sometimes I train light.
Well, good for you,
How about
honey.
you?
You got it?
Good.
Right. Good stuff.
We'll add
Nice of Ronda Rousey to help
2.5
that,
on
help there,
2 or 3
obviously.
times a week. Yeah.
Lucy
I like to
Liu
train
getting
heavy,
ready
so
for
to get size, I'm always trying
some
to
Charlie's Angels thing, probably.
Why you calling her Lucy Liu Cider? It's because she's
chest.
Asian.
Good.
Well, it's not Connie Chung.
Justify the workout. 2 more. Come on. There you go. Good.
I'm sorry, I'm distracted. Her boobs aren't moving. That's really weird.
Our next exercise
Yeah, it
is
turns
for the
out when you
tricep
get them
muscle.
right under the muscle and you're
Push down
super
with
lean,
easy
they don't
bar.
really move
Take
at
a look.
all.
Okay,
Oh.
Monica's gonna start off here. Now again,
So yeah, Monica's gonna start off there. What were we talking about?
Bench press? Is that what we were talking about?
Is that were we sporting? Is that what we were up to? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't
That-
know anymore.
But
You want to? So speaking of, well, we'll go here first, and then we'll talk about this here.
is Xbox done, guys? Speaking of stuff
One
you
can
would be
only
up to.
hope.
Well, it is the great American console. You got to remember that. It's kind of sad. It was a competitor to the two Japanese giants, you know. We were lucky enough to have like the heyday of it in our youth, but the Xbox was like the first of its kind because it was the American console. And that makes it the first of its kind because it was an American. Not that nobody had ever built a console before. That's not what I'm trying to say. But, excuse me, Nintendo, the three big ones. My bad. I forget about Nintendo now that they're evil. But anyway, the problem is that Xbox couldn't hold on to its identity because Microsoft couldn't hold on to its identity. And so over the years, Xbox waned away from the cool stuff that it was known for. So Nintendo was the family games that were, we're all friends. We're going to play Mario Kart together and maybe talk about murdering one another because of it. But we're all family and friends, and grandma can play because the controls are stupid easy. Okay? PlayStation was like the edgy teenager stuff. Like, you want to express yourself. Here's Final Fantasy. Here's Devil May Cry. Here's all these exclusives that are like super emotional. And then Xbox came through and they're like, you guys want the Iraq-Afghanistan war, but like 3 different ways? We got you. We got you Gears of War, which is the Iraq-Afghanistan war in space. And we got Halo, which is the Iraq-Afghanistan war in space. And we got that other thing that I can't think of right now. Wasn't it Killzone? Wasn't that an Xbox exclusive? I want to say that Killzone was in
PlayStation.
It was a PlayStation?
Yeah, PlayStation. Because I remember playing Killzone back then, yeah.
So there was another one that was the Iraq-Afghanistan war in space, and I forget which one it was. But those two were the big ones, and for whatever reason, Xbox decided that, religious warfare in space probably just kind of dull, even though that's whole 40K's whole thing. But so they moved away from that, and that just spelled the end of it for them because that was their unique niche, was the Iraq-Afghanistan war. Was their unique selling point. Do you guys want to play the Iraq-Afghanistan war racing game? I'm waiting for Halo Racing to come out, okay? Like any day now, you're going to be able to play Halo Racing. If not, they'll build it in a new release through mods. That'll be great, right? You have like Master Chief Kart, Halo Kart. It'd be great. I'm sure that's out there somewhere. But apparently, Seamus Blackley, the guy that was explaining that Xbox's sudden and abrupt shift to using AI, much like the rest of Microsoft's products, was explaining that this was a shift in who's running the show over there to the new lady. That was a palliative care movement to usher in the end of Xbox. A nice slow decline into Xbox simply being an everything app. Much like X, the everything app is a mostly news and information app these days. Whether you trust that information or not is up to you. Yeah. But Xbox aims to be an entertainment app in which you'll be watching things, playing games through it, and having some type of social interaction and shopping opportunity through it. And that's their goal. So Xbox as a console is likely going to disappear. Xbox as a gaming platform is likely going to become amorphous, sort of like the Google Stadia, in that you don't have like a physical device that receives anything. It just moves through your PC, and that's your Xbox connection. So, oh well. Do you remember the Sega Dreamcast console? Of course I do.
Do you remember Sega? Do you remember Sega? Remember when they used to make consoles?
Sega doesn't remember Sega. They can't even turn a profit lately.
Mm-hmm. Every time they hear the word Dreamcast, they get like flashbacks, like literally just gunfire in the background.
Please, not again. Don't do it. But yeah. So, what's this, Jacob?
Well, I was just going to say real quick on Xbox. It's like, it seems like it just seems like gaming in general is going away very rapidly because there's not really good news on any one side. Because we don't have any real consoles outside of Microsoft and Sony Microsoft is seemingly at the very least 1 foot already out the door. Sony really can't get their stuff together because they're having hardware issues and delays, and they're talking about getting new consoles that are probably going to cost you well over $1,000 to buy. You'll have no good games to play for them. And then PC, with the advancements of AI, their cost is going up as well by a lot. So, I mean, you kind of look at the gaming sphere and it's like, I don't really see a healthy outlook in the next 5 to 10 years. It's like, it looks like back in my day, we had, like I said, Sony and Nintendo and Sega, and then you had new people getting into the game as well, new consoles and things of that nature, and these companies actually used to create games that were creative and fun that people liked, and you don't get that anymore. Like I said, console exclusives are a thing of the past. They don't exist anymore. Not in today's, corporate cycle. You saw all the advertisements for stuff from back in the day. It's like that era of gaming. We're going to find out at some point in time that American culture peaked somewhere in like 2003, and it's just been steadily downhill ever since. And there's a few years where we're kind of like in denial and grasping. It's like, oh no, it's still good because I got this and that. And then 10 years after that, you realize, yeah, no, that was definitely it. That was definitely the end of it right there.
We have Kenny F. and Power saying, my first day working for Babbage's in 1999 was the Dreamcast release day. When I got home with my system and played Sonic and Soul Calibur until the sun came up. Then I got home, sorry. Till the sun came up. Good times. Yeah, well, I mean, like what you were explaining, Jacob, these were games that people wanted to play. These were things that people wanted to engage with, much like what you're showing me here.
Oh, yeah, so this is a time frame. Let's kind of set the wheel back. Any of you guys ever heard this thing called of Tech TV? So it was essentially G4 before G4. A lot of you guys probably don't even remember. Tech TV was actually the birth of a little show called X-Play. So it was a show that started off as extended play. It later got changed to X-Play. And it was mostly the golden years of that show were on Tech TV. Then G4 in the year 2004 buys Tech TV. Comcast essentially buys Tech TV and merges it with G4. By the way, if you go back at that sale, they spent, this is a real number that's been confirmed now, $300 million to purchase Tech TV to merge it into G4. So at some point in time, Comcast invested
2000s money.
I don't even want to know what the number is adjusted with inflation. It's probably close to $1 billion, but that's how much money they actually spent investing in G4 at that time. And then 5 years later, it ended up being a network known for cheaters and cops. So money well spent, Comcast. But there's a show called X-Play, and we all remember a time frame where people actually liked Morgan Webb and Adam Sessler. And Adam Sessler is a guy who has done great damage to his personal reputation for a multitude of reasons over the course of the last 15 years. But there was actually a time period where people didn't hate his guts, and he seemed somewhat happy. Let's go back to one of the first episodes of X-Play with Morgan Webb and Adam Sessler, and things have changed a lot over the course of 20 plus years.
I wish we could do this kind of stuff.
What?
Like we just live so far away. I wish we could build a set like this and just do these kind of shows. We're just like walking around talking to a camera.
Oh yeah, right. That would. I mean, I don't know how much money they possibly spent on this set back in the day, but we'll figure it out.
We could 3D print a lot.
Tonight on X-Play,
Can't you play harder?
Tao Feng and the ancient
Are these
arts
like
of ripping people
copyright control?
Bring
We
the
just
heat.
steal this. We'll just call this G4 and X-Play. Do it.
Well, actually,
What are they
the
gonna do,
copyright for Tech TV is expired. G4 let the copyright expire about a decade ago because they have no plans on utilizing anything in that library or in that name brand. So it's essentially a dead brand. So G4 is copyrighted, but if you want to do something with Tech TV, like the avenue is there. I mean, all that stuff, the video library is basically locked in a vault somewhere at Comcast and NBC Universal. You're never going to get any of that
They
stuff.
burned everything.
Yeah, you're never going to get any of that stuff. But like I said, if you want to revive Tech TV, technically there's nothing stopping you at this moment.
This year's MLB Slugfest and a do-it-yourself commando course, courtesy of Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. Stick around, it's game time.
Remember when TV was square?
Yeah, right.
I missed that.
Remember before HD?
Just regular TV.
Now with a brand new
Who's
format
trying to
with
impress you?
wacky hair, here's Adam Sessler.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Disembodied Voice.
You're welcome.
Yes, and you're welcome to Extended Play. We're gaming.
Adam, that's X-Play.
Got it. X-Play, X-Play, X-Play. We're going to purge that Extended Play. Long live the X-Play. Shorter, powerful, perky.
They're trying really
You know,
hard.
little X-Play. Now get this. Instead of shooting the show from the Metron Gaming Arcade, we are here in an actual
He,
studio. This is like a real
pioneered
TV show with a full production
streamer
crew.
talking.
That means we're covering
Yeah.
up in the world. Now, I'm not saying we didn't have...
Keep in mind, this is
crew on that old show, but
2002.
kind of
I want to say 2002 or 2003.
You can just pick up these televisions off a Craigslist ad now, dude. Like, a set is not hard to build.
Hello and
Just
welcome to
can't
Extended
live
Play.
And you gotta-
2,000 miles apart to do it.
And you got to remember, this is from 2003. This is on Tech TV's budget. They did not have a whole lot of money, right? Like they can make a decently sized, exactly right. But you think you can make like a decently sized set, but it was like they were putting like real cash into their set here. But
Well, this is like pretty top end tech at the time, so yeah,
At the
they
time,
probably
absolutely.
did drop maybe $10,000-$15,000 on the set alone. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have the top-notch TV equipment. Over there, there's a guy with a swingy camera. And then over there, that's a guy with the holdy camera. We have Word Scrolly, and we have Morgan Webb.
We got a guy with a
here,
dick
Morgan Webb,
camera.
playing
Don't tell Morgan.
games, you know, hanging out. Why? Why are you here?
They didn't tell you they hired me for the new show?
No, why'd they do that?
I'm the girl. I'm just here to be approachable.
God, it's good to be up here on Extended Play.
Adam.
I'm here to help
Exactly.
simulate
Well,
female
we've got the new name,
conversation
we've
for
got the
our
new set,
shut-in
we have
audience.
Morgan Webb. And that means it's still the place to get dope on Games and Gamers.
Every
So
night.
this is where it all started right here, and it's very interesting to note. If you guys didn't watch Tech TV back in the day, before Comcast bought it, it was basically a little small regional studio out in San Francisco, California. I don't want to say before it had the negative stigma because it existed then too, but I mean it was San Francisco, right? You didn't think back then we thought of San Francisco, you'd think of homeless people shitting in the streets and doing heroin, right? That was kind of the perception, wasn't quite there yet, but. Yeah, you had basically all these people were a bunch of San Francisco liberals covering, early technology in the 2000s and video games, and they thought that they can essentially merge their idea into one.
Liberals, aka right-wing extremists today.
Yeah, we'll get to that here in a second. So then Comcast comes along. It's like, yeah, we're going to buy this company for $300 million. We're going to immediately shut down all the production in San Francisco. We're going to move you guys out to Los Angeles, to Hollywood, baby. You're going to be a part of our atmosphere. They fired everyone except for the people who were involved with this show, Attack of the Show, which is a show that they morphed from the Screensavers, and Martin Sargent were the only ones who got moved. And within 8 months, they fired all of those people except for the people at X-Play and Attack of the Show. So within 8 months, this $300 million investment essentially became these two and Kevin Ferreira. Money well
As they were making
spent.
it up as they went along, too.
Exactly, right?
Tonight, we're going to bring it on with previews, cheats, the stories behind the games, and of course, the backbone of the show, reviews.
Yeah, now speaking of backbone, it's very appropriate for our first review of our first show.
We'll play the review here, but I will note this here. One of the biggest mistakes that the show made is that, and I'm pretty sure it had a lot to do with Morgan and Adam's desire to be real video game journalists and not just do wacky, quirky video game reviews all the time. But that was your bread and butter. That was why people watched the show for so many years. And then all of a sudden you was like, oh, we're basically going to become GameSpot TV. And it's like, okay, but where's the reviews? Are we going to get the review? Then they started doing fewer and fewer reviews as the show progressed over the years, which is probably another reason why things didn't end ultimately that well for them when it was all said and done.
Here of X-Play.
Well, really,
now it's obviously back when we were kids. I
the
used to
reviews
love to rip
cost
the
them
spine out of
access.
people and snap it over the thigh, and that
They
would have
kept
been-
giving things 2 out of 5.
The Immortal Mortal
Exactly.
Kombat. That game almost flunked me out of
And you need
college.
access
Yeah,
in
and
order to
my
have a
grades
television show.
funked me out of college. But anyway, that's the old days. The co-creator of the original Mortal Kombat is back with a new game. It's called Tao Feng, Fist of the Lotus. Now, of course, the question is it as gory, and especially is it as good?
It was a moment in time.
You didn't live long enough to see them kill your joy.
Can't you play harder?
Ooh, it's like she's coming on to me. Whatever, Tao Feng. Sounds kind of like...
Yeah, you can't
Tao
talk about
Fun,
games like
which
this anymore.
reminds me of
Nope.
Wang Chung.
You
It
can't
makes
even
me
make
want
games like
a
this
Qing
anymore.
Dao.
That's
Enough
true.
word association. Back to the fighting. As you can see, through deft button pressing, you can kick, punch, and, as here, show a shocking lack of regard for the principles of gravity. Problem is,
Whatever, dude.
it just doesn't seem to work all that well.
It seems like a
Like
Tekken
Beef
game,
Combat,
an old
the
school
game
Tekken game.
truly jerky. Modern
Yeah,
fighting
it's,
games should be a whole lot more fluid than this. Tao Feng
this,
seems
It's like they
in a
stole the
visual
engine from
pickup.
Tekken 2.
Yeah, I was
players
gonna
will have a
say
better
it's
shot
not
at
Tekken
mastering
1.
the
It's like
Sith
Tekken.
than
It's
the
like
original
Virtua
edition.
Fighter is what it kind of reminds me of.
Exactly. Okay, the game does try out some nifty ideas. That's not one
Whoa,
of
the
them.
Brazilian
I love
booty
the idea
dance.
that arms and legs can break through excessive blocking,
Limb damage alert.
or by being hurled into a museum display case.
Limb damage alert.
Except I
Wow.
want to see that damaged limb dangling loose like a pathetic limp. Nah. All in all, Tao Feng's kind of sloppy, like Chow Fun. It should come as no surprise that the game plays a bit like Mortal Kombat. For many, that means the fighting styles are bizarre and unrealistic and stem from some metalhead's power fantasy rather than actual bone-breaking martial arts. That
Who
means
cares?
you
It
pull
looks
off cheap moves like this. Trust me, your friend won't like it.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Ow!
Now, don't expect much from story.
Yeah,
unless
now
love
you go to
Mortal
jail for
Kombat
that.
movies.
Mm-hmm.
You must collect shards of a powerful thingy.
Don't you dare punch your friend in the shoulder if he beats you at a video game.
How about unbreakable magic crap for once? All in all, Tao Feng just feels dated.
Well,
Wang
good for
Chung.
you. It didn't survive.
Visually, though, the game's right up to date. Look, nifty shadows. Hello, broken floor.
That's amazing. They're talking about shadows like it's a brand new
One nice
technology.
aspect
Look, guys,
is that
it has a
characters
shadow.
actually show wear and tear. Nasty bruises. Ripped clothing. Now, don't plan to get too titillated with these girls.
Bet you've never
Ah,
partied with a real
he said the
dragon.
thing.
Or mime, for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
While the game has a high Betty count, it's not like DOA 3's nice-looking girls who made bad life choices. Here, they look like they stepped off a Grace Jones album cover. And with a night entry to a club.
Remember Grace Jones? Remember when she was a thing?
Of
Nope.
course, you pop a couple of Qing Daos, and everything can look better.
I don't even know what that is.
To conclude, for those waiting for the next Xbox Fight Classic,
that like
Tao
Heineken
Feng is
for
a
Chinese
functional
people?
fighter that will appeal to old school fanatics of the Chow Fun Wang Chung Qing Dao variety. Everyone else, keep holding your breath. The game is now
3 out of
4
5.
Get a
Yeah,
3.
you never heard from those guys again, did you, X-Play?
Yep, they spent what, 3 years working
Yeah.
on that game, and we reduced
Ah,
it
you
to
remember when you could
Chinese
make a game
made-up
in
crappy
2
games
years?
and
It
thinking
didn't
about
need a
it.
decade.
We're gonna make friends here on Xbox.
It didn't cost the GDP of a small Eastern European nation.
Well, no, the game is made only for the hardcore Mortal Kombat.
Remember
fans.
when
That's what the
back in the
problem is.
day
So,
you
really-
played
if
like
you're
the
really
whole
interested,
game, like it
go
was
rent it, check
completed,
it out
and
that
you didn't have
way.
to like wait
Well,
several
get
months for
comfortable.
Right?
several
You
exclusive
didn't have to get a
videos.
DLC to finally
We got
find
plenty
out
more
what
on
happened
today's
after the first
extended
level.
play.
X-Play.
That's what I said.
No, you didn't.
All in the inflection.
Coming up, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Raven Shield, plus the adventures of Adam Sessler, SWAT Commando.
Was he with Egon Spengler? Who is that guy?
I guess we can find out here in a second.
Do you remember when they would just have random celebrities on here? It just not like A-listers, but like B-listers would show up every now and then.
DVDs, MP3.
Like
Remember
Jack
when we
Black
had-
was on X-Play at one point.
Every
I
week,
think.
Sumi shows you.
Remember
what
when we
you
had
want.
entire shows
Fresh
based
gear.
in new cool
Shows us the
technology that
coolest
just
new
looked
products in the
cool?
test, so you don't
Do you
have to.
remember when we thought
Shows
technology
that hot
was cool
product
and not
worth your
murderous?
cold, hard cash. Sumi knows. Fresh gear, Monday.
You remember when you wanted women to tell you about things? You know, you were just whatever.
Once again, Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb.
Welcome back. Now, Morgan, I'm all flush, but how
You
was
are
your
flush.
first commercial game?
It was not as good as the one we had in the screensavers.
What did you do there?
Oh, great. It's another show about a woman telling me what I should like about this. Great.
Remember a time period before we started getting tired of women's opinions?
Yeah, you remember that? Again.
Can I have it yet? All right. Back to the business of the show. Squad-based action games are often referred to as the thinking man's first-person shooter, which means that first-person shooters are the dumb person squad-based action game. Anyway, in my mind, there's really only one company that does squad-based
Who's that?
action, right? Ubisoft.
There you go.
Ubisoft. Well, they've happily graced
Oh
us with
yeah,
another offering.
gamers,
Rainbow
most
Six.
segregated people. You bet. But no, yeah, culture was still like monolithic. It hadn't been melted all together to where you have like VTubers singing the national anthem at baseball games.
Combating terrorism wherever it
Or church sermons on Roblox.
Yeah, right. That's
And dine it.
wherever you could spread the word, brother. Wherever you could spread the word.
Yes, it's time to return to the wonderful world of squad-based tactical shooters. And nobody does tactical shooters like Tom Clancy. This time, it's the third chapter in the Rainbow
Well.
Six series, Raven Shield.
Mm-hmm.
If you're
That didn't
unfamiliar
last
with the way
long.
things work in Tommy Boy's universe, let me give you a
Things
few
changed a
pointers.
little bit in the
First off,
2000s.
don't do this.
Yeah, these games are old. You guessed it.
Or this.
Yep.
It's almost like
These
we're
are
watching an episode from 23 years ago.
And definitely
Well,
not
the games
this.
are old in the sense of like, this is the heritage of all the stuff that we
Raven
have
Shield,
today. Like
it's
Call
not
of
the
Duty
size of your gun that
93
matters,
is because
it's
we
the
had
brains
this.
behind it. The rule of
Yeah,
thumb
so
is
this
one
is
shot,
all
one
from like
kill.
the PS2, original
One shot,
Xbox, and GameCube
one
era.
kill.
Yeah.
Of course, you can die just as easily. So,
Oh.
for God's sake, be careful out there.
Do you remember when everything wasn't like yellow and foggy and blurry?
Levels are
Oh,
strewn
man.
with nice little hiding
What a
holes,
time.
which makes sneaking up on unsuspecting terrorists a bit easier.
Thanks,
but
HD.
also gives said terrorists
Appreciate you. You're
ample
making everything
opportunity to
yellow and
ambush your
foggy. Have you ever wondered what it was like to live inside of a Zack Snyder movie? We can help.
Too often. Starting off in Switzerland.
You know, better
you have
graphics is
South
literally the
America,
reason why it
with
takes
the
9 years to
original
make a video
United
game now,
Kingdom.
right?
Absolutely,
But like
that's
getting a
it's got to
pan in
render
Japan.
all the polygons, doing polygon stuff. Obviously, it's not the DEI. Of course not.
The plot is
That guy's
typically
dead.
and generally murky.
Both Intel and I are
Walk it off.
Well, what do you expect?
Do you
from
remember
guys
when they
who
had to have a
host
stylized
Robot Wars who
face?
Sounds like Ringo Starr.
Like just about every game had like its own art style, and now it's just like whatever Unity's got. You know, we'll just drop whatever
Instead of
Unity's got in
freaky-ass
there.
guns and BFGs, you have an M16.
Everything
A2
looks the
assault
same.
rifle, and MK
Everybody has to
23
have like this
pistols.
really serious
One
expression
slight
all the
departure
time.
from
You can't have
reality, though,
goofball
zooming in with
characters
the assault
anymore.
rifle makes sense, but we're a little unclear as to how the
Unless they're
pistol
cartoon
shoots.
characters,
Maybe you're just
obviously.
squinting really
You know what I'm
hard.
talking about.
There's a reason why they call it a tactical shooter, and this is it. Before each mission, you can plot out a course for your assault in minute detail. Let's see. I'll go here and here.
You know,
you guys go there.
If
It can get
you're that
pretty
kind of
hardcore.
guy, I
but once you walk
guess.
down a body-strewn corridor, you'll be thanking your buddies on Team Green. Or you have the option to just run in guns a-blazing.
Yeah, like Max Payne.
If your
Yep.
idea of a good
They're-
use of
they've
brains
done a
in the
review of
shooter
that
is
on
as wall
this show
decoration,
back then.
Raven
Yep.
Shield may not be your game. But if you crave the
Back when the
challenge of
first
intelligent
Ghost
combat,
Recon was peak.
then
Oh
this
yeah,
is the game for
ancient
you.
times.
Hostile down.
We give Rainbow Six Raven
Perfect
Shield
Dark.
a 4
Yep.
out of 5. One last point.
Boy, that brings back
Tear gas
memories.
dissipates very slowly. Oh, well, man. The walls breathing.
All right, so I played this one too. It's a great game. Now, you know I love the first-person shooters
Yes, you
to
do.
begin with. Yeah, the little squad-based action. It really brings a little more challenge.
This is
to the
also
game.
back in the days
Plus,
where you can
Steve
clearly
Mando,
tell
you know,
like they just brought their clothes from
when you
home.
guys
Like
get
they didn't
caught
have a
up,
wardrobe
laser
team.
scopes. I mean,
Just
No.
like whatever's in your
I love
closet,
guys
just
named
come on and
Hunter,
come on the
actually,
show.
like the very friendly
Nobody was
people
like,
over
"Hey
at
Morgan,
Ubisoft,
why
kids
are
can't
your
actually
boobs
dress up
down
and
by
play
your
SWAT with
waist?
actual
What are we
SWAT people.
doing?"
It's not as easy as
Just decided not to wear a bra today, huh, Morgan? Thanks, appreciate that.
Do you have a bra that fits you, Morgan?
Rainbow Six Raven Shield puts you through some tough
You realize
missions.
you're not 12 anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That
Adam
keeps
just
happening.
like he stopped the
So
Goodwill
I
on the
figured I
way
needed
over.
more training than the game can provide.
I know you're a woman in
I
your
accepted
mid-20s, but I don't have to
Ubisoft's
tell you how
invitation to
support
come down
works,
to a
do
launch
you?
event and play through a level
Have you heard of the
game
word
in
frump?
real life. It modeled one of the levels after an
You
actual
kind of got a
old building at
uniboob thing
Presidio in
happening
San
right now.
Francisco.
Yeah, it's
And I started with
worrying me.
training actual SWAT team members.
Low to the ground. You're almost erect, but you're
Yeah, now we're judging her for it.
When you walk, it's going to be heel toe.
It's different now.
Just stop, stand up, step, step.
Remember frosted hair? Would you just like bleach the top of your head for no reason?
Yeah, frosted tips were the thing in the 2000s.
Oh yeah.
Everyone wanted to
Thanks,
look like
NSYNC.
Everyone wanted to look like this lead singer of Power Man 5000.
Yeah, right. It was- what a weird aesthetic. That guy must have been so
I
ripped
knew I was
off.
ready
You know?
to suit up and get my hands on a gun.
Whose finger's on the trigger?
I get my hands on a
It's a
toupee.
natural. Okay, so maybe I needed more training.
Yeah, it was less flattering. Yeah.
Soon enough, it was time to spring into action, and we
Like I
all
said,
piled
the
into our
early
suits
2000s was such a
mission.
weird time. Liberals actually
Obviously,
trained with
team
guns.
best.
How do I do this?
Yeah, well, sort of guns.
Sort of.
This is what I've been training for after all those
No, that's a
years of
different
playing
television
Clancy
show.
games.
No,
I
no,
was
that's a
ready.
different television show. Equally as based though, but it's a different. We can't show you that one on YouTube. Maybe on not on YouTube. Oh yeah, no, they're actually shooting people. They're all dead now. Like they turn on the lights, the hallway's just caked with blood. Adam's like, what? What?
I wonder where we get help.
That would be one hell of a prank to play.
Any save points around here?
No. You're going to die.
This is the ammo. Not bad.
You don't know where that floor's been.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know how many partners that floor has had. Come on, Adam.
It looks like they intentionally have not swept this place in quite some time.
You just put that in your mouth? No wonder women won't kiss you.
That was so. Are you okay? Whoa.
Is Adam married? Like, I legitimately don't know.
I got shot in the balls, dude, with the tiny balls. No, don't leave me. My testicles have
Poor
been
self-service
concussed, Adam.
cameraman.
Don't leave me.
How's it going, man? Swelling gone down?
It's one camera guy.
Next, letting baseball go to your head. Our review of MLB Slugfest 2004. And head to
Remember when Minotaurs played baseball?
XPlay for behind-the-scenes action.
Kenny F. Powers finds the
So,
silver
Adam, are you a
lining.
big
Yeah.
baseball fan?
Even though it just sort of
back
looks
then,
like
played outdoors.
part of her chest is
Well, it
caving
can
in.
be, but it doesn't have to be. Our next title. is
Like I said,
Amazing
there was no
Running.
wardrobe
I think
team.
I
It
can
was
leave
like
the house
literally
for
just
quite
put
some
on
time.
what you have in your
This is
closet.
aptly named
Yeah.
MLB Slugfest 2004.
Adam smells like BO, and the woman smells like
I don't even think they had a
If your
wardrobe team
idea of
until
baseball is a
Comcast
lazy
them.
bought them.
afternoon, catching some
Yeah.
rays, swilling cheap beer, and scarfing $10 hot dogs, you've got it wrong.
Remember Midway sports games? Like Blitz?
That guy, you just heard about his dog dying.
MLB Slugfest 2004 is a whole new ball game.
On to left field.
Finally, the jackasses out there have a baseball game where they're actually rewarded.
I've
for
only ever
playing
seen the
dirty.
basketball game where you could punch
Forget
people.
about all the crotch scratching and tobacco spitting.
No, there's football games
When a
and
player can get
baseball
beamed
games. You
on
can
every
punch
pitch,
people.
Oh, you just took a shot there, Jimmy.
There's no time for that junk.
Oh, right in the nuts.
By beating batters, you can send them to the house that Payne built, putting them into a big-time batting slump.
Why is there a
And this gives you
Minotaur?
decisive edge. Just don't get carried away.
Because
Go
Midway
head
inserted
hunting
their
after the
characters
wrong
into the
guy,
game.
And there could be hell to pay.
Oh no! He's on fire! He's turned into a demon!
Okay.
The man is being punched by a poltergeist!
And when we say hell, we mean it.
This pitcher is one top cookie.
What a hottie. The players
Uh-huh,
will catch on
'cause they're
fire,
on
not
fire.
only making them extra nasty, but giving
Hope
them
somebody else wrote that
superpowers.
joke.
Not to be outdone, pitchers
Oh,
have a
no.
host of
She
insane throws
definitely
in
got
their
hate for
arsenal.
Wait a minute.
Sosa, take the strike, 0-1.
Turbo is a big part of the game, no matter what position you're playing.
There you
It'll
go.
help you jump higher or run
It's
faster.
gonna hit the Coca-Cola.
Touchable, it's a home run.
Making inside the park home runs entirely possible.
This feels very Japanese.
Bergeron scores to put his team ahead.
It also
It feels like
causes fielders
MLB
to
was
drop
like,
the
could you
ball
make a
and fly
baseball
hard
game?
enough.
And they were like, no. But we
Finish
can do
him.
something like a baseball game.
Let's put Scorpion in a Major League Baseball game.
Yeah. The Minotaur, he plays for the New York Yankees, right?
The big drawback is that
Scorpion's
Sunset
gonna bat for the
24 is
Dodgers.
as shallow as the Bachelorette.
Ibiki Gamer says he's like Ghost
From the
Rider
game
in
mode
sports
to
games.
gameplay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, you got to remember too, this is before the time of licensing. So this is before essentially EA had exclusive rights to do all the sports games, because they used to just allow like any company to make their own like baseball game or a football game, whatever the case may be. So you would have like 6 or 7 sports games out in a year. Now EA is the only company allowed to make a sports game for the league, and that's why you get the same Madden game every single year.
Everything's super duper licensed because everybody has to be protected and controlled. You don't want one guy lighting on
Well, there's
fire.
it looks like it was designed
have
for the
that.
enemy.
That's why it's so fun.
Good. Well, stick around.
So yeah, that was
Susuke.
that was X-Play from back in the day.
Well, again, like this is the early days of when we were trying to figure out what tech was all about and just exactly how we were going to conquer the world, I guess, with it, conquer the universe. And now we're just sort of pissed off at the technology all the time. So,
Yep, exactly right.
it's one of those things.
I do have another video here, but we got kind of some unfortunate news for some of you people out there. I might as well just bring this up here while we're talking about it.
Sorry.
Oh, there we go. So Bruce Campbell, as most of you guys know from like Ash vs. Evil and all this other stuff, Burn Notice is where I primarily know him from. He made the announcement today, unfortunately, that he has been diagnosed with a treatable yet not curable form of cancer. Now, he's not going into any more details about what's going on, but he is saying that, you know, there's several cons that he's going to step back from this summer as he undergoes treatment and things of that nature. And he says that, you know, fear not, I'm a tough old son of a bitch. I have great support, so I expect to be around for a while. As always, you're the greatest fans in the world. I hope to see you soon. So yeah, he usually makes the con convention tour around this time of the year, but there's going to be obviously some notable events that he will not be able to attend at the moment. So that's all that we have there for that one. But I mean, Bruce Campbell's a very likable guy. I don't think there's anyone who's ever had anything bad to say about him. And like I said, it's, you know, very unfortunate because it seems like a lot of people are just suddenly coming down with, you know, cancers that are taking them out pretty quickly, unfortunately. But hopefully things don't end up that same way with Bruce. But yeah, this was only came out just a few minutes ago.
Well, again, like the Ash and the Evil Dead thing, I know him better from Burn Notice. That was where he was Sam Axe. That's the character he played. And I think that was just Bruce Campbell. He just wandered onto the set, and they were like, no, he could stay, let him go. And he just was Bruce Campbell, and they were like, we're gonna call you Sam Axe, because you hear the way that Bruce carries himself and how he acts, and I have a hard time separating him from Sam. Because he's just Sam. Bruce and Sam are the same character, and that's what I appreciate about some actors, is how fluidly Robert Downey Jr. can move between himself and Tony Stark, that you can't really tell them apart.
Yeah.
Even though they're just independent characters. Sam Axe was made for Bruce Campbell, and it's perfect. I have to wonder, like, every now and then he looked around and he's like, I'm getting paid to do this, to hang out in Florida, drink beer, and talk about killing people. I get paid to do this, you know?
They literally pay me to drink mojitos all day. It's weird.
Yes. I don't even have to be sober. I just have to repeat whatever the Burn Notice guy says to me, but with a sarcastic tone.
Yeah, like I said, I pretty much got all the episodes of Burn Notice. Is one of my favorite shows out there.
Yeah,
so it's like,
yeah,
like I said, it sucks, and unfortunately, it's happened to a lot of people over the course of the last couple of years. But so hopefully he'll get some positive news in the coming months, because like I said, cancer sucks. It's not great for anyone. So
that's right. What do we got here?
So, who here is old enough to remember a little place called Nickelodeon Studios in Orlando, Florida? Does anyone remember this?
Oh, I mean, I do, obviously, but, I don't know who I was waiting for. Sorry. The studio audience. Do you guys at home? It's like a Dora the Explorer moment. We have to pause and wait for the audience.
So, kind of going to here, back in the times of the 80s and the 90s, Nickelodeon was a wee little channel that was looking for something that they can build up to, and they had the place called Universal Studios in Orlando, where they filmed a whole bunch of content. We've gone back in previous episodes, kind of showcase the stuff that they used to show, but this particular lot was known for some of its earlier shows that were filmed there. The first 2 seasons of all that were filmed in Orlando before they moved everything out to Dan Schneiderville, aka Burbank, and then the rest was history there. But a lot of the game shows that you guys all know and love was filmed here. Legends of the Hidden Temple, Guts, Double Dare, things of that nature was all filmed in Orlando. Well, in time you get to, I think, 2004, it was the last thing that they filmed in that studio. Everything got completely shut down. As the years have progressed, I don't even know what they use that lot for anymore. I don't know what specifically that was used for in 2026. I know for years prior, it got turned into the center of the Blue Man Group. However, right before that conversion happened, a brave young soul on YouTube, back before Google, Googlefied everything on this app, they decided that they were going to break in to Nickelodeon Studios, the old studios, and see what it looks like essentially nearly 10-ish years after they shut down production of virtually everything. Now, but I use break in air quotes, because essentially they just forgot to lock the door, and they just didn't, so they just snuck in. So here you go.
A year ago, Nickelodeon Studios in Florida has been shut down for quite some time. And inside this building, about a year ago, I tried getting in here, and I failed. But today I'm going to try again. Join me, shall you?
That's lovely noise. There we go. That's better.
This is where they filmed TNA.
Stage 19 is where all the magic happened back in the day here at Nickelodeon Studios. I wonder if there's any remnants left inside. There's a little something for you.
What? Meanwhile,
here's a shot on the catwalks above the soundstage. Everything happened below, but up here on the catwalks there's still all kind of electrical gizmos and doohickeys and fun stuff, making you remember what life was like back in the day when Nickelodeon was in full swing. Should probably go back down now.
Oh. It's like hieroglyphics on the side of a pyramid. What if that's all the hieroglyphics are? Is SpongeBob characters, like for Egyptians? Right. It was just a brain rot cartoon character that everybody likes. They drew him everywhere.
What fascinates me about this is how old school it is. Check out these buttons.
How everything is still on.
If you have any doubts,
like the security
where
cameras.
I'm at, check out what my finger has to say. Where am I at,
Yeah,
Finger?
like you got to remember, this was
Finger,
like
where
several
am I?
years after they ended production on the show, so they didn't even bother to move a lot of the stuff out of the studio. They were just like, yeah, we're just not going to use this for like 8 years.
This is pretty
Just do that when
fantastic.
you're
The
rich, I
original
guess.
Nickelodeon
Mhm.
font on this sign.
When you're a
years
multi-billion-dollar
later.
corporation.
Lots of remnants left out here on the soundstage. Nickelodeon colors, locks, and other gizmos. Even these headphones.
Smell like old flour. Hey, Keenan.
Yeah, right. No, I think that show was filmed in
Look
Burbank.
at this
if I'm
old
not
pencil
mistaken.
sharpener. I mean, look at it. You gotta wonder if Mark Summers used this thing.
Like, put his dick in it or something?
After I got done checking out the smoking area.
The
No, I
Nickelodeon
don't
smoking
I was
section.
just
Yeah, the old
checking
Tommy
out.
Pickles
I came
out there
back
puffing
inside,
away.
And I noticed these pulled down drawer doors. What's up there, I asked
Even the
myself.
adults need a break from the kids for a
find
little
out.
bit.
You just walk around this place? What the hell is this? Like, I know
So,
the proper people do urban exploration, but this is, like, clearly still occupied to some degree. There's power running to it. There's some type of air circulation happening. The computers are on.
So the stage, like the building itself, was still being used, but this particular section of the soundstage of the building wasn't.
Okay, so why
So
is the
it wasn't
power
like they
still on?
abandoned the soundstage altogether.
So he's just in a part of the building they're not using right now?
Yeah.
Oh.
And like I said, at this point, they hadn't used it in a number of years.
So he just looks like a
Now we're
security
getting down
guard to
to the
anybody looking through the
nitty-gritty.
window. All right.
The original font, colors, and logos.
Yeah, before it looked like Epstein Island.
I could tell you what this room was, but I want to know if the hardcore Nickelodeon fans do. If
This
you
was a
know what
child
room this
sacrificial
was
pit?
years ago back in the Nickelodeon days, leave a comment down below.
And this is where we have the Moloch games.
This is where we played ping pong with our victims before murdering them?
Mm-hmm.
Evanescence. Wait a minute. Brave getting into the elevator of an unoccupied building, man. Like, wow.
Just so it can break and no one knows you're in there.
Yeah. And then you got to explain why you're in there. Welcome to the schizo floor. Not to be confused with the psycho floor above.
Welcome to what we like to call the danger zone.
One of these doors is a bathroom. The other door, well, we'll find out where
You
it
can
leads.
clearly tell these murals were painted like in the 80s.
By people who were rocked off their asses. There's Red and Stimpy everywhere. You can't even put them on the production line anymore. Like, you can't even talk about Red and Stimpy without offending people.
There's the control room.
Did they find pizza in the kitchen ovens? I don't know, man. Like, I'm surprised they're not finding a hot Big Mac just hanging out from the homeless guy that clearly lives here.
Imagine getting locked in the elevator, dying, and your body's not found until like several years later.
This is the Ren and Stimpy floor.
Make sure you subscribe to Adam the Woo.
That's not his voice. Notice no SpongeBob.
Oh, this is way before SpongeBob.
Online editing? They're editing the internet? Through the black and white photos.
Is this where the internet was hiding this whole time?
Al Gore, is this where you've been keeping it? The 90s when drugs were cool. Okay. Yeah, 2038 is skeletons found in the elevator.
What's that in there? A dry erase board? I knew it had to be done.
And he draws a penis. All the way. Yeah. Games and sports. All of these people are homeless now. Wait a minute, this isn't a bathroom.
Dan Schneider was like, I can't molest anyone over here. I'm moving this out to LA.
That was the Schneider door right there. So we come and go right to the roof. I like how his camera sounds like Darth Vader. Okay, we're about to find out if there's pizzas in the fridge. No, we're not gonna find out, okay. Nobody wanted to find out what was in the fridge, guy. Of course not. I don't know about you, but if I'm sneaking around the place, I'm definitely checking the fridge. Gotta find out what's in there. You know a serial killer when you find him in there, you know? The Master P area? Like, they got really bored or paid somebody a lot of money to do all this. Wow. And then just left it.
Remember those roll-down doors I showed you a minute ago? Well, they're behind that window.
The feet
Right
room,
past those
not
windows is the
allowed
sound
without
stage.
Dan. It must be
There's still a
escorted
lot
by
of
Dan.
production equipment
The
left in
feet
this room.
room.
Original stuff. Look how old this stuff is.
And now it's gone because thieves know it's there, thanks to this video.
Yeah, all this stuff is long gone.
Yeah,
I think he did a follow-up video of this like years later. They basically painted over all the murals. All the murals got painted over, and they turned it into the home for the Blue Man Group, and that's where they were for essentially a number of years after the fact. So this little window of time that he recorded here is literally all that's left of that place. None of those the murals aren't there. Like you can't go in there right now and find any of those things. Those things are long gone.
Kenny F. and Powers says there were some cool urban exploring vids looking at the abandoned Sears corporate building. It was like a whole city upon itself. Would be perfect for an end of the world movie shoot. Well, and that's there was the TWA building as well was another one that was ridiculously massive. They tore it down, but a lot of these mega structures that we built over here are obviously going unoccupied because they just, it's easier to rent somewhere and have most of your people come in by remote because everything's either automated or just a few buttons now to get it automated. So, but that's how that goes. I did want to do a story about a mall just being like one of those, Sci-Fi had like its own version of the Twilight Zone. I forget what it was called. It was like Dark Shadows. No, Dark Shadows was about the vampires. But anyway, it was like one of those weird things where a mall was transported to Mars for no reason. And like the people in the mall are stuck having to like live off of what's in the mall and they can't go outside because, it's Mars outside. But air inside and the plumbing's working. It's all this really weird situation. And then someone starts knocking at the door of the mall. And that was the end of the episode. I had in my head. I was on a lot of drugs at the time.
That sounds about right.
Who remembers Master P? I don't remember Master P.
Make him say, oh, no. Yeah, remember when Master P wrestled in WCW? Who's old enough to remember that?
Not me.
Yeah, Master P brought his team, the No Limit Soldiers, to WCW, and they were going off against a racist redneck stereotype group called the West Texas Rednecks, who in Master P's group were so bad that the Rednecks actually got over in the southern conclaves of WCW with a song called Rap is Crap. It became a smash hit for them back in the day, too. So, yeah, there was a lot going on there. There was a story that we were supposed to mention regarding AI, right?
Was there?
I think you said you had something on the docket regarding AI, didn't you?
Oh, that was the anime. Right? Let me just check.
I think you had something else, didn't you?
Are you trying to lead me to something? Because I can't. I'm sorry. I'm not picking up.
Well, I mean, I thought you had something set up first. I was kind of going to piggyback off of the first thing, but yeah.
No, if I did, I completely forgot it now. Sorry.
Son of a bitch, Slider. Why do I have you here? You see what he does to me, people? Did you see what I have to deal with here?
Look, it is what it is. Okay, it is what it is. But I'll just talk about this then, okay? So here's something about AI. Here you go. All right, I'll lead you in this. Goldman Sachs says that AI is not hurting the economy.
Yet.
So there you go.
Yet.
Yeah. This is basically zero yet, you know. But no. That's AI is not hurting anything, obviously, of course. We would have seen tens of thousands of layoffs this year. You know, who would have seen a lot of, companies fully embrace this to the detriment of their product, like Microsoft? Yeah, no, of course not. But, yeah, so we were talking about this before the show started. C-Dance has been nerfed. A lot of the generative AIs have been nerfed because of legal complications. So prepare for the cable TV-ifying of the generative AIs now, that all of the copyright holders will only allow certain controlled environments where you can generate copyright-controlled, friendly, non-offensive material. Because God forbid Darth Vader actually does something in a movie, because we just can't have that. We just can't have old Darth Vader do anything in a movie. That would be too scary. You know, there's a ton of, this is one of the things that irks me, is that over the next few months, you're going to see these Star Wars, Star Trek, and all this other stuff. These channels that have been built around generating AI episodes, AI mini-movies, that sort of thing, short films, they're going to end up being completely destroyed because YouTube is going to delete those thanks to the AI generative legal arguments that are being made. And so the movies that you wanted to see were like Darth Vader's doing stuff. There's like Anakin versus Asajj Ventress or whatever movie. Like there's a big old like hunt to get Anakin and stuff like that. And so you see Vader, some of the Vader power come out of him in that one. That's going to get destroyed because they don't want that. They don't want you to get what you want. They want to be able to lecture to you. They want to be able to give you the agenda. And the AI allows us to tell stories without the agenda. And oh well.
I will say this too. So if you guys have heard the story, I'm not sure if we've talked about this, or I'm not sure if we talked about it here on this show. Essentially what happened a couple of weeks back is that there were videos that were made that were clearly AI, but they were pretty decent looking AI videos. It all kind of started with the whole, Tom Cruise fighting Brad Pitt on the roof thing. And there was like, oh no, this looks kind of realistic. This looks really good. The studios absolutely had a shit. They absolutely lost their minds, and they basically threatened to sue this company to oblivion, saying you need to shut this down right now. Now the whole thing was that people were making their own videos of re-editing, reshaping scenes from existing movies. They started doing scenes of like Batman versus Captain America with all the cadences and stuff like that, and people realized, well, if this comes out, basically Hollywood's screwed, because you can essentially do whatever you want with just a few clicks and a couple of prompts. And that caused Disney to freak out, that caused Warner Brothers to freak out, Paramount. They all start seeing cease and desist. So as a result of that led to essentially C-Dance nerfing severely. And this is what everyone that has been kind of testing this out, because it's not officially public yet, but everyone who's been testing this out saying that, oh, they nerfed the crap out of this. Like, this is not the program we were using several weeks earlier. And that's clearly because of the Hollywood threats of lawsuits and the cease and desist that they received as a result of this whole thing. And the context we were talking about was essentially Hollywood is in a time frame where they're trying to put the genie back in the bottle, right? It's like they know that this is advancing quicker than they prepared for. And if it advances just a little bit further, a lot of people are going to be out of jobs in Hollywood on a multitude of levels here, right? And it's just going to get to a point where once the people realize it's like, hey guys, you don't really need Hollywood anymore. With AI, you can basically make your own little movies or shorts or television shows, whatever you want to do, right? And it's very, very close to being almost indistinguishable between what is clearly AI or it's not. Guys who have kind of worked with this and then studied for a while, like, we can clearly tell the differences between what is real and what it's not. But you also got to remember that for most of your normie people out there, they have no context. They're falling for like AI cat videos that they can't figure out are fake. That's where the normies are following out here, right? So this brings up a very interesting question here, because as someone who reviews a lot of movies, even though admittedly I've not done a lot this year, I've seen 2 movies this year. It was a Daisy Ridley movie and Scream 7. That's the only 2 movies that I've seen so far this year, because the movies that are being released are utter garbage. And Hollywood is in a position where the reason why they fear AI is not because they care about IPs and copyrights, because none of these commies care about property rights at all. So let's not pretend like that's the reason. They basically see a reality where, given about 5 years, you're not really going to need them anymore. Like they're going to have to figure out some kind of way to get ahead of this, and they haven't really figured it out yet. So they're trying to essentially put the genie back in the bottle where they really can't. It's like, you can't stop the progression here. You can nerf Seed Dance 2.0 all you want, and it seems like they have, but if you really want to achieve the same effect that you're getting from this engine, there are other workarounds of getting around that very issue. This is what kind of led me to doing a couple of weeks ago that whole Dead Rising shtick. Now, I'm not going to show any of the audio here because I'm not trying to get this place like copyright claim for like music or anything like that. But one of the reasons why I did this is I want to show people, it's like, you're trying to nerf a specific streaming engine so that you can't produce things of this nature, right? But if you really want to create these things, the workarounds are kind of already there. You don't really need Seed Dance 2.0. This is something that I did basically out of just pure boredom, by the way, but this is something that I did. It's only a minute long. It's a concept trailer for a Dead Rising movie, a live action Dead Rising movie. There's a lot of faces on here that you'll probably recognize here too, right? None of this was done with Seed Dance 2.0, but there's a lot of bits over here that actually look pretty darn good. Like I said, if you guys want to check out the whole thing, you can check out my channel on a long time, but I just want to show you guys that this is kind of why Hollywood's in a position where they're kind of screwed, because there's really nothing you can do to stop what comes next.
Yeah, the violence is what I said. Like it tips me. Is you couldn't do this about 4 months ago. It was too hard to get it to do anything violent.
Yeah.
It would just bonk them on the head and they would fall over like they got hit with rubber. You know, there would be no blood or anything. You'd have to tell it that tomato juice is exploding out of their face or whatever. They're spitting out tomato juice, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And there are some engines out there that kind of nerf the violence aspect of that for that reason. And I get you don't want to, you know, portray dark web murder videos, but at the same time, in the concept, if you're trying to make something action related, you kind of need to have that element on there. So who knows if they fix that as time goes on here.
What worries me more is that we're teaching the AI what humans look like when we're mutilated. And oh boy, it just creeps me out. That's all.
Yeah, and that's essentially like where it's going on a lot of aspects here. But it's like, what exactly do you do here, like at this point, right? But again, none of this was made using 2.0 at all. This is basically a combination of like 3 other engines combined into one, and it looks pretty good for the most part. Now, there's none of the engines that are in use right now are at a point where you could be like, oh, I can definitely tell that's like, you can there's always a tell to some point, but the thing is getting a lot better than it is now. So I was thinking about essentially putting together a legitimate like a trailer and try to make like a 2 to 3 like minute one here. This one is using the engine called Kling 3.0 Omni. Now, or is it Omni or Omni?
Omni's the one you could put a reference in.
Okay, right. So this is kind of the one that's floating under the radar because it's not nearly as expensive as Seed Dance, but it's also kind of making the similar. They've been smart by kind of flowing under the radar, but they're also making a lot of connections here with this one too. So this is kind of just bringing a scene and a concept here to life. So if you guys know,
I want to go to Yuppies.
Right. This is Tina Fey as a reporter in a Dead Rising movie talking about, this is just a quick little 5-second clip, but you can also see that the photos is very realistic and the audio is also doing very well as well.
The situation has completely unraveled with reports of violent unrest flooding the downtown area.
Yeah. Now that's just from a quick little 5-second clip just from this. I also started playing around with, you've never heard of Nano 2.0 as well. or Nano Pro. Let me see if I can get it up here. Okay, I might have to recycle this here for a second.
I use
want
this one, and I use Nano 2,
Mhm.
Nano Banana 2.
And
I use Nano
essentially,
Banana Pro. They just seem to. What I wanted to say though is that they just seem to get a more accurate rendering. The clothing seems to stay more accurate.
Yeah, and in the background is a little bit more accurate here too. But yeah, so I mean, you can basically cook a lot of this stuff up just by using the photo engine, and then essentially from working there, you can just work on bringing it to life, which is getting a lot easier to do. So here's just a few examples of if you were to actually create this type of film, what it would look like, right?
Yeah. You can simulate environments. You can even insert an environment and populate it, change the lighting, you could battle damage an environment.
Yeah. And then the
like
2.0
he has a dick drawn on his head.
Exactly. But yeah, no, the 2.0 is a lot more detailed than some of the other ones here too. But it's like, so you already can bring, your idea to life with just a few frames, and then it's just working on getting the motion together.
Right.
And obviously, this is something I've told people here too. AI is only going to be as good as the person putting it together in this sense, right? It's that you still have to have an idea. You still have to have a thought. You can't get lazy with it, right? Like this whole idea of, I just create a movie and then, I'll have AI write its own dialogue and do all this. Like you can't really do that because it's going to be terrible. It's going to be awful. You have to have the idea in your head, and you have to be the one to kind of craft it to life, right? If you want AI to do the job for you, then yeah, you're going to get slop, essentially.
Like this doesn't look great, but it doesn't look terrible either.
No.
A lot of people, when we show AI things, they want to gravitate toward the mistakes rather than observing that a machine completely fabricated this entire sequence of events.
Mm-hmm.
So all of the little nitty little things like, Vegeta's his scale is off compared to the other players. This looks pretty good though. I mean, if you asked me if Goku was actually playing soccer here, I probably wouldn't know the difference, but as you can see, Vegeta's too big compared to the other players and things like that. His head's too big compared to them. But other than that, I mean, there's very few mistakes with this. And so what people want to point out are like the shortening list of inaccuracies, size reference, that sort of thing. And eventually it's just not going to be there anymore. Like we were joking about before the show started, showing people the Agent Smith versus Neo fight and telling them that it's AI, and they'll tear it apart.
Yeah.
They'll find every problem with it and be like, this is AI, it's so stupid, it doesn't know what it's doing. Meanwhile, it's just, the Neo fight from The Matrix Reloaded. So
yeah, and here's kind of what I've said about, AI for the most part. Like I said, I think animation is making a lot quicker strides than the real action stuff. Like the live action stuff still has a long way to go, even though it's getting better. Things like animated, video game-wise, things like that, they've made a lot better progress with. Here's kind of how I feel about it. You guys honestly probably have like a few short months to, if there's anything concept that you want to bring to life, now would be the time to do it, because the AI, when this is all said and done here in a few months, we're basically in the Wild West stage with this, because there's no, like I said, there's no real regulation to any of this. People are just kind of working out concepts, but it's going to get to a point where people are going to be so freaked out, they're going to demand some form of regulation or nerfing, and then that's basically where everything's going to go to hell, right? And who knows if we've already crossed that line. I personally feel that we've had in a lot of aspects, but not to a point that we're normies, the third group that we talked about all night here, that they're going to notice. When they start noticing it, they're going to absolutely freak out, and I don't know if they're going to be prepared for what comes next afterwards here. But if you're a creative and you've always had an idea of something that, let's be honest, you probably have never had the resources to ever bring to life, you can at least do something now to kind of fulfill that from a creative aspect. And I would say probably use the time that you have it while you can, before AI progresses to the point where the next thing you know, 300 million people are out of jobs because AI is taking all the jobs, right? So ride the wave while you can is what I would probably recommend to you at the moment.
check this out. This isn't made with AI. Some of it's it has vocals AI generated, but this is a dude doing editing and things like that. So this is a warning, though.
Yeah.
Raiden, Are you having fun playing with the new AI toys?
Well, yeah, I am. You can make pictures of cute anime girls and...
Enjoy it while it lasts, Raiden.
What do you mean?
Did you really think that civilians would be granted unrestricted access to such powerful military weapons forever?
Military weapons? Are you implying that this technology was created by the government?
Yes, they're making deep fakes of
This
Hillary
AI
Clinton.
technology has been used by the intelligence agencies to warp the public's perception of reality for years. All in the name of national security, of course.
But why would they suddenly make the tech public and let everyone start using it?
Why would we indeed, Raiden?
What? What in the hell are you?
Your question is irrelevant.
I am
By
Jeffrey
creating a new
Epstein.
problem, we can cultivate a desired reaction to it in order to manufacture consent for our preferred solutions. In short, it's justification for a war.
A war? On who or what?
A war on misinformation.
Remember that?
By arming the public with these
Remember
AI
the
weapons,
Ministry of Truth
everyone
they were
becomes a
trying to put
potential
together?
enemy combatant. Then we will have justification for unprecedented security measures. It all comes down to confusion and identity, Raiden.
Identity?
Identity. This AI technology is Pandora's box.
Now think about that statement.
And it's not wrong, right? Because here's what I personally believe. Now, this should be just my personal beliefs here. The reason why this is progressing to the level that it is now, and I don't want to throw a damp rag on this whole situation. I get there's a lot of people out there that are like, oh, I can use this to create my movie or my video game or my story, things of that nature. And we're all looking at it from a creative lens, right? Because generally we're not evil. There are a lot of evil people, on the other hand, who are going to use this to misinform and to cause division. And there's a lot of, content out there that alludes to the same thing, that once they get the live action portion to a believable stage, you're going to start seeing things that you're not going to know whether they are real or they're not. You're going to start having presidents and politicians make declarations of war. You're going to start seeing videos of cities getting bombed, and they're not actually getting bombed, but it looks so realistic, you're not going to be able to tell if this is actually happening or not. And that's when things start getting scary, right? And then the next thing you know, no one knows how to react because there's so much videos and misinformation and photos out there that you're not going to know what's real or what's fake. So people are going to start questioning whether the fake videos are real. And I also think there's a degree to this that no one really talks about. When real videos start getting leaked on the internet, then they're going to start to mention you, oh no, that's AI. That's not real. Don't look at these videos of, certain occult activities that are happening behind closed doors with people that you know, because that's AI. Don't believe any of that stuff. That's another angle to this story that a lot of people really don't think about. We all think about the falling for the fake videos that are real. No one talks about the real videos that are going to be called fake as well. So that's kind of where I'm like, we're in the Wild West stage. You got a short window here, because once the sinister stuff starts coming out, that's when we're at the point of no return. And there's probably going to be a lot of that moving forward too.
Pretty soon the internet will be mired in total illusion.
How about
Perfect AI speech, audio, and video synthesis will drown out reality. Then AI bots will flood social media.
Like they already have.
No one will be able to tell the difference between interacting with an AI machine or a real human online. Even telephone calls will become totally untrustworthy. That is when we will present our solution. Mandatory digital identity verification for all humans at all times.
Gee, doesn't that sound familiar? For the kids, though, this time. For the kids.
The only way to ensure that you're dealing with a real flesh and blood human being and not an AI-generated mirage.
But why?
Total information control. For too long, the internet has acted as a double-edged sword. Its potential for anonymous user activity allows anyone at all to spread any thoughts, ideas, or information patterns that they please with impunity.
Like the PSYOP anime account. How about
Yeah, right.
How long are they going to be able to get away with that where they're growing so fast? And they're quite obviously not under the control of any, friendly government. I don't think they're under control of any government, but they're certainly not under the control of a friendly.
Yep, and once someone accidentally cracks the matrix and gains a little too much control that they weren't awarded to, that's when things get a little dicey.
State secrets, dangerous ideas, ludicrous conspiracy theories, misinformation, and disinformation.
Yeah, that's a fun one, right? Disinformation. So it's not wrong, but we just don't like it. So it's not good anymore. You can't say that. We don't like it, so it's disinformation. It's not wrong, but we just don't want to hear it. Crazy.
Until now, there has been no easy solution to this problem. Our digital identity platform will finally put an end to anonymity online. It will allow us to trace misinformation and other dangerous communications to its source and exact appropriate justice.
That's crap! I won't go along with it, and others will resist.
You won't have a choice, Raiden. Do you think your bank is willing to risk doing business with an artificial human instead of a real one?
How about that? I'm sure they can come up with a multitude of other excuses too.
Our digital identity platform will be required not only to access web services, but to pay for your internet connection in the first place.
That's the next step, by the way.
And then you also got to look at it from this perspective here too, right? Like, we're playing with the AI engines that we are being allowed to play with, right? You also have to keep in mind that when we're talking about governments and intelligence agencies, they have access to far more advanced AI software that, who knows, the technology to do all of the bad, evil things that everyone's worried about probably already exists, and it's just in the hands of a handful of governments, and it's only a matter of time before, like I said, that deception will already happen. Because, I mean, let's be honest, and a lot of things in society that they're already preparing you to accept. So it's like, it's what we mentioned earlier. Why is it that, people who believe in absolutely nothing all of a sudden believe in aliens all of a sudden? And then that narrative just keeps floating around every couple of weeks, be like, hey, don't forget about those aliens. It's like, it'll be pretty easy to fool some people with some good looking, AI videos on social media that no one will be able to, tell the difference if it was real or fake anymore, right?
Well, and that's the question.
Yeah. I mean, not only that, just another thing. We've seen people with the advanced technology of certain motion capture AI things where you can literally just pretend to be a completely different person, even though it's not you. It's like, that was literally the plot point of Scream 7, by the way. If you guys haven't seen that new Scream movie yet, that was literally the whole thing. They were resurrecting characters who had been killed off in previous movies just using AI. And they've shown you can do that like right now. Like, you can basically be like, okay, I want to look like this individual, whether it's a man or a woman, doesn't matter, and I'm gonna move around and do things and talk, and it's gonna look and sound like it's that person moving and talking, even though it's not them. So now people are creating their own, weird pornography accounts using women that don't actually exist, and people were showing, there was one video there not too long ago that where it was like the cast of like Stranger Things, where a guy was like, oh, here's me as every single cast member of Stranger Things, and it looks like it's actually that person on the computer. And I was like, so all that stuff already exists, right? So this is what we talk about, the end game of deception here, and what's eventually going to be used here. So real quick, this is a totally real photo that is not AI crafted whatsoever. Anyone who tells you otherwise is lying to you. Did you guys hear about what happened with Scream 7 over the weekend? Because I just found this extremely humorous. So what you guys are seeing right now is Neve Campbell, who is the franchise of the Scream movies for over 30 years, pointing and laughing at Melissa Barbara and Jenny Ortega standing on a giant, comically large stash of money, because Scream 7 just set franchise records for the franchise, bigger openings than the last two combined, really. It's kind of shocking how well this film has done. If you guys don't know the story here, here's essentially what happened. A couple of years ago, who owns this company? I think it's Sony, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong there, correct me. But Sony decided that they were going to move the Scream direction in a, let's call it, newer, woker, more progressive direction. And they decided, hey, let's take Billy Loomis, the killer of the first movie, give him a full-blown Hispanic daughter. Don't explain how he had a full-blown Hispanic daughter, since he was dating Sydney in the first movie and never made any oath at having kids before he was brutally murdered, but we don't need to explain that. And then let's make these two Hispanic ladies the face of our new Scream franchise moving forward. And they added in a whole bunch of other diversity characters in there, the biracial Wonder Wonder Twins, as I call them now, because it's funny to call them that. And this was essentially the Scream franchise for the last 2 movies. It was horrendously woke and predictable because you knew that if there was any heterosexual white person who was introduced in the movie, they were ultimately going to end up being the killer. And that is exactly what happened in not only Scream 5, but Scream 6 as well. They were going to progress with Scream 7. The problem is that Melissa, the one here on the closer on the bottom there, she decided that she was going to speak out against Israel because Palestine and stuff of that nature. And the people in Hollywood, a lot of them Jews, shocker, did not like that. So she got fired. Jenna Ortega then made up a lie about having scheduling conflicts with Wednesday so she can back out of the movie. Then later admitted no, she backed out because she's also pro-Palestine, didn't like the fact that they got rid of the first actress. So after originally lowballing Neve Campbell out of the franchise, she wasn't even in the last Scream movie because they lowballed her out. They thought, oh, we'll rule the roost with these 2 Hispanic ladies. We don't need Neve Campbell anymore. When they got fired, they brought Neve Campbell back for a lot of money. So she came back to the franchise. They're now doing Scream 7. Over the course of the entire weekend, there was this extremely petty, childish boycott movement for this film from a large group of people, a large, wide-ranging group of people who were upset that the Palestine girls got removed from the movie. So they review bombed it on Rotten Tomatoes. A whole bunch of critics on Rotten Tomatoes said that the movie was bad just because these 2 are no longer a part of it. So they bombed the movie on Rotten Tomatoes, Letterboxd. People then started spoiling the movie on Twitter just to encourage no one to actually go see the movie. This is like a full-fledged thing the entire weekend, and it ended up making nearly $100 million this weekend, which is the most money any Scream movie has ever made ever. And now they're talking about making Scream 8. So not only did the boycott completely, totally, utterly fail from all the pro-Palestine people, but Neve Campbell is now back at the helm of her franchise, making more money than she's ever made before, and then she's going to get even more money to do the next Scream movie. So utterly to say that this whole thing completely and totally backfired on the boycott people, and now they're just crashing out on social media because they know they utterly failed.
Now, I don't have anything against Neve Campbell. I'm just tired of sequels. That's all.
Yeah.
I'm just tired of sequels.
And I'm going to be completely honest with you. I saw the movie. It's mediocre. It's all right. The ending reveal in The Killers is really, really flat. Up to that point, it had a pretty solid pace, but the ending was just kind of like, I don't know about all this. But the 2 movies before this were so bad that even mediocre is an improvement to what they were doing before. The problem here is, like I said, do we really need a Scream 8? It's like, like this thing should have been over with after 2, if we're being completely honest with ourselves here. But here we are now talking about a Scream 8. Why? No one can really come to a conclusion why we need all these Scream movies, but they're going to keep making them because they don't have anything else to do. So yeah, you're going to get Scream 8 now. But like I said, that's just on an objective level, looking at the actual franchise. I just figured out the whole way that this unfolded over the weekend was absolutely hysterical to see that they tried so hard to bring this movie down. They even protested the premiere. They had Palestine protesters outside of the premiere earlier, I think like a week ago, when they premiered this film, did everything in their power to bring this film down, and it failed miserably. Yeah. So now you don't need to bring these 2 back because they were more successful without them. So now you have no leverage whatsoever. So way to go, guys.
Genius move. Genius. Well, and again, it's the Scream franchise, so it's one of those things where it was initially supposed to be a parody of horror movies, right?
Yeah.
And now it's evolved into a horror movie. So...
Yeah,
you live long enough to see yourself become the villain, I guess.
Exactly. And people are trying. This is the thing to show you how delusional people are. People actually try to pretend like for a moment that somehow Scream was Melissa Barbara's franchise now, like it was her movie and her franchise. Like, no, this has always been Nev Campbell's movie. The story a number of years ago, we talked about this here on the show many times before, was that they lowballed Nev Campbell out of the last Scream movie, thinking that these progressive diversity hires were going to permanently replace her out of the franchise. That we don't need to pay Nev Campbell all this money anymore because we got all of the Hispanic / biracial people in this film now. We don't need Nev. And then literally within 2 years, the woke ate the woke. And then it was like, well, Nev, we got to bring you back. Sorry. Oops. Oopsie daisy.
Well, you know, it's hope that maybe we're course correcting by force, obviously, financial force at this point.
You're right.
They don't really have a choice. They're either going to lose all of their money to AI, or they're going to start producing things that at least get some people to give a damn about it. This is one of the things I was talking about in the bar room, is that pretty soon you're going to have access to an app where you're going to have the ability to create your own entertainment. Now that sounds like, oh yeah, you know, it's going to be cool, blah, blah, blah. But the problem is everybody's going to be able to do that. And the few people that aren't going to do it are going to be looking at what other people generate. So you're not going to have a common culture anymore. You're going to be able to watch whatever you want for as long as you want to, for whatever reason. You'll be able to type in half an hour video of a dude playing Mario N64 and commentating about cheesecake in the Iraq War. You know, and that's the psychological connection between the two. And that'll be what you'll be doing. You'll be having your dinner while you're listening to some guy that sounds like Aaron Hansen, you know, pontificate on the relationship between those two things. And you won't have the ability to go to work and talk about it at the water cooler. You won't have the ability to go, like, talk to your friends about it because they haven't seen it. They haven't seen what you generated. So that'll be gone again. The culture will again stratify it to an even greater level. And so right now, you're going to end up losing that. I guess what made Scream work in the beginning was the common culture around horror movies.
Yeah.
That the slasher in particular, so that a parody coming out about it was something that people would be interested in. Today, you have Michael Bay trying to create a Skibidi Toilet movie. And as Cassie was explaining, common culture will be whatever goes viral. It already is. We have a Skibidi Toilet movie. You know, and that's not even
a Michael Bay backed Skibidi Toilet movie.
Right. And that's, so we're looking at this as sort of in the twilight, I guess, or the dusk, maybe a better viewpoint of it, is the dusk of traditional media and traditional culture at this point. You really have to zoom back out and start considering just, you know, local culture has to be what it is. AI is going to force people to have like their own city, town, state culture. Probably not state even, just city and town, like 10-mile radius culture, because that'll be the only thing that really goes anywhere anymore. You know, like Cassie was explaining, occasionally you'll have stuff that goes viral, but who needs to look at stuff on social media? You would just simulate social media completely. You think one AI companion is what you're going to have? When ChatGPT can generate 8,000 words of 8,000 pages rather, of documents at a whim? No. You're going to have like a whole social media that can be completely simulated for you, that's totally wrapped around whatever you want and has no bad words, no bad thoughts, and no mean tweets. Yeah. All right? Again, it's the Pandora's box that this other video was talking about isn't even cracked wide open yet. It's just barely, the latch has barely been lifted on what can be done with this stuff. And how, what was that song? It was the year 2525. Remember that? It was like a 70s song that talked about people just evolving into pill-eating, legless lumps. You know? And, yeah, I'd play it, but we'll get struck. But
yeah, right.
It was like in a year. Let me just look up the lyrics because it's really prescient to the moment we're talking about here. Year 25 lyrics. It says, In the year 2525, if man is still alive, let me just share it so everybody can see what I'm looking at. If man is still alive, if woman can survive, they may find, in the year 3535, ain't gonna need to tell the truth, tell no lie. Everything you think and do and say is in the pill you took today.
Yeah.
About that. In the year 4545, you ain't gonna need your teeth, won't need your eyes, you won't find a thing to chew, nobody's gonna look at you. In the year 5555, your arms hanging limp at your sides, your legs got nothing to do, some machine's doing that for you. And so in the year 6565, you won't need no husband, won't need no wife. You'll pick your son and daughter too from the bottom of a long glass tube. And it seems more like by 2035, you'll be doing that, not 65. Okay? Yeah. And that's what I mean is that the AI rapidly accelerates our ability to do things. It doesn't change our understanding of them. This is the thing, is that until you reach that godlike intelligence that does the abstract thinking that humans do, you know, look at a cloud, see a bunny rabbit, see a piece of burnt toast and go, oh, Jesus visited my toaster. Thinking about that, right? That's not what the AI is capable of right now. It's barely able to do reasoning. The super intelligence, when Stargate is turned on, go ahead and Google that one, the data center that the government's building, that's going to be able to be smarter than one single human, but not all the humans. And that's when this stuff becomes possible. Right here, this right here, where you won't need no husband, need no wife. You'll pick your son, you'll pick your daughter too, from the bottom of a long glass tube, because the AI will be able to do all that for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the next 6 months are going to be very, very interesting for a multitude of reasons. Yeah, Cassie, in all honesty, I mean, I've been saying this kind of for a while now, so I'm not really surprised, but I'm more than certain now that, like, I would say 40%, at being generous, 40% of the interactions that you have on social media aren't even actually with real people anymore.
Right. Right. Well, and that's just it. As you take a look at the YouTube comments, they're just like, they'll make random surface observations. I get people that just accounts that reply the name of the show that we have posted about, you know. Mm-hmm. It doesn't like contain any other commentary. It just names the show. And you know, that's probably 70% a bot, you know. If you
know how many 250 character diatribes I've received from people with all this horrific like hate language, and then you check their account and it's like one follower or following one person. It's like, you're not even a real person. Like, who is this? Like, most of the people that you're interacting with on social media aren't even real people at this point. Like, they're just not.
Well, and that's, you know, germline engineering at home. Well, we've got CRISPR now, and I don't think you need to do it at home, but the French have been working on an artificial womb that just sits in the corner of your living room, and it has like an opaque dome, and you could just watch the embryo turn into a fetus in like the corner of your room, like a fish tank. It rocks back and forth to simulate the movement of the mother, if it was. So you just chia pet your kid, you know, you get a little vial from the CRISPR company, and you just toss it into the old baby bake, and 9 months, 4 months, whatever it takes, you know, the baby baiter. Well, that doesn't sound right. The incubaby, something like that. The Instababy. Yeah, there you go, Instababy. Just toss it into the Instababy 5000 and come back in 4 months, and your kid's chia pet ready to go. Just unhook the umbilical cord and toss them into whatever foreign language program you think will best suit them in 20 years. It's just what are you going to do? You know, this is what's happened in Seoul, you know? I'm not AI, I just don't got no friends. Well, it's not that. It's, Kirby, we can really tell when someone is not human. The commentary, like, that it makes is very surface area. It doesn't have anything to say or comment about. It doesn't have a context. It's just there to be a reply. The Bounding X account gets hit with quite a few of them. The Bounding Facebook account gets hit with even more. It's just surface area stuff. Jacob?
Yeah, I didn't know that if I click my camera, it just takes me off screen entirely.
It's okay. We could still hear you. You could shut it off. I just didn't know if you dropped from the studio. That's all. So if you need to shut it off, it's fine. I don't know what causes that. I can't find the setting. So
it's your setting, Cider.
It is. I don't know where it is. How you make that stop? Because it's not anywhere on this.
I don't know what the buttons do.
See, I disappear too, like, but, and then I come back, right? But I like the audio is still there. You know? We're both gone. Stream zombie stream. Make fun of her. Anyway,
Disembodied voices.
Yeah. If you're on drugs, they're gonna get you. They're in the walls. There's bugs under your skin right now.
Yeah.
That's how we should open the show from now on. If you're on drugs right now, there's bugs under your skin. That's how you should start the stream. But yeah, getting stalked on the internet. Yep, that happens. That happens. There is a circle jerk of AI created YouTube content leading AI created reporting, which leads to more YouTube content. Yeah, well, I've noticed now that there's AI generated news. And I can't think of the name of it now, or else I would bring it up to show you because I can't remember what the name of it was. But there's a whole ass AI generated news channel. And the worst part is it's copy and pasting actual witness commentary into what the AI characters are saying into this AI generated news report. And it's like, it's all news. It's all the reporters. They're on the scene. There's explosions. There's fires. And actual witness testimonies being like put into these AI to spit out. And it's about like real events too. It's not like making fun of them. It's reporting on shootings. It's reporting on kidnappings and riots, demonstrations, and local charity events, both good and bad. And it's one of those ethics things that's always bothered me about this. Like, if I ever found like a job that was probably best for me and all this AI stuff, is teaching the ethics behind it. Is that there has to be a code of honor with what you do. And I find a lot of people violate that without thinking. It's why I try to be extremely careful. When I was making the political stuff that I was making about the gubernatorial candidates here in Maine, I made sure that when I was doing the cop one, that they weren't using guns. They were using Nerf guns. And they were very plainly and clearly Nerf guns without the orange tip on them. They were very exaggerated in their design. So people understood that, and they didn't fire at each other either, but people understood that I wasn't insinuating that one character should kill another. And there's so much like very minute visual stuff you have to put into this AI generation if you're making commentary on real life stuff. You have to be very, very careful with how you represent these people too. I know it's very funny to put Trump and JD Vance and all these crazy different body types, fat JD Vance doing breakdancing and things like that, but you're not gonna get Elizabeth Warren to tolerate that. Yeah. You're not going to get these wild liberal freakos like AOC to tolerate that for very long. They're going to try and find a way to come after you for it. And that's where the ethics thing is, where we've got to really ask ourselves, what is the goal on this? I know that making Natalie Portman's boobs gigantic in that meme from Star Wars, these huge honkers on Natalie Portman is funny, and there's probably some guys out there that are really enjoying that. But the problem is that there's a real person out there named Natalie Portman who does not have huge honkers.
No.
And she's not going to enjoy having that body dysmorphic feeling of waking up in the morning and finding out she does not have huge honkers. Mm-hmm. And that's a big problem because you remember when this AI thing first started.
Because then you're going to see
started.
Real pictures of Natalie Portman and go, oh.
Yeah, right. When they ask her about it, she's going to get like this, I'll kill you, look in her eye. You know, have you seen the AI where you have huge jugs?
It's only a matter.
Waggling them all over the place.
It's only a matter of time before she akins it to you know what. So.
Of course. Well, that's just it. Is that is where it's going to hit to. Is that it's going to escalate to a point where they have to declare that it's some type of sex crime in order to sue people that are doing it. This is another reason why I'm extremely careful with all the things I create, where I'm not generating any woman in any state of undress that is not something you would either find at the beach or find in a Sears catalog like we were talking about earlier. I'm extremely careful about this stuff because Denmark passed a fun law that said if their face shows up in AI, they can sue you if they don't like how that's used. And where the AI is randomly generating faces, well, guess what? And it's one of those things where you have to be extremely careful about it. And I see so many people just being like, yeah, no, I'm going to take this extremely famous person and I'm just going to put him in a sex scene. I'm just going to give them nipple tassels and a sparkler coming out of their ass. You know, it's just, it's like, you can't do that, dude. That's the whole actor's thing. That's they're selling their face, you know? That's why C-Dance got taken down so fast, is because they made the mistake of going so hard in the training data that these were actual actors, movements being paired with the faces of those actors.
Yeah, so for those of you who know, the series that I've been working on for the last several weeks is an animated one. So, I mean, with animation, I mean, you can do a lot of things there that are, what's the best way to describe it? You don't have to worry about a lot of the moral implications of
like
certain
lighting
things.
Lady Gaga on fire. You know,
Animation it hasn't happened yet, Cider. You're spoiling an episode that hasn't aired yet.
Spoiler alert.
That's like 7 episodes away. Shut up.
Oh, no.
But
yeah, they'll forget.
Yeah, they don't remember. But then you also, like I said, it's very easy to kind of age characters and make them look a little different. Like here, that's when you're working with animated characters, right? And I get it from the side if you're doing let's say something like this. You're actually using real people and real characters and you're trying to use their likeness. Now, in the context here, it's not like it's actually Anna de Armas and Chris Pratt. Like they're playing a character in a bit, right? So even here, it's kind of a fictional setting, but I can easily understand the point of somebody do something that's not so fictional in a setting here, right? Because this is another little short video here from the Dead Rising thing that we're working on here. And like I said, the cadence is not quite there, but it is better than a lot of other ones. Just show a quick little 5 seconds.
You do have the keys, right?
I thought you had the keys.
Did you lock us out?
Yeah. So that's just quick 5-second video just from the scene here. But like I said, some people might see this and be like, oh, that's cool for a concept. And other people are like, do not use my likeness for this. So I can understand both sides of it. And I'm not going to argue too harshly against it one way or another. Because I can see people being like, even if you think that you have the right intentions with something, you may have the right intentions with something. Somebody else can take it entirely different, right? Because it's like somebody may not like the idea of them, smashing zombies in the head with a hammer because maybe they're not into that thing, or maybe they have more objections against it. That I completely understand. So it's there is kind of a gray area that you have to kind of work with when you're doing live action real type people here. And also obviously what we were talking about earlier is that if you use it in the wrong way or a not so safe for work way, then there's legal implications with it there too. So it's kind of what I'm saying here about the Wild West days. There really aren't no set rules quite yet with what a lot of things are doing, because the concept, or at least the thought process here with a lot of people is that, well, it's not real, so unless you're trying to deceive someone purposely into thinking that it is real, then that's where you're gonna fall into a lot of trouble here, right? If you're trying to use one of these two actors to promote some, shady Eastern European stock company that doesn't exist, now you're talking about a legal loophole that's going to have huge ramifications, right? But for stuff like this, it's kind of where is really the line that we're going to draw? And legally, at least in that aspect, we haven't truly drawn that line yet. You can do kind of cease and desist on characters, like I said. If you're making your own Captain America and Batman fighting scene, right? Well, those are intellectual properties, movie characters that are actually owned by big studios, right? So it's you can't really go out there and just make your own Hulk movie and things of that nature. There are actual legal bounds against stuff like that. Things like this, like I said, it really is up for debate. It depends on how people can perceive things. It'll be very interesting to see how that legal issue goes. But like I said, how do you stop it? at that point, right? Because you think, okay, I'll just go after this one engine that can't do that. Well, there's several others that can. So you're going to have to kind of think of a bigger form from there. Oh, did we actually find
We need to
this
build
whole
more
thing?
data centers. AI needs it.
To cure cancer, right? We're curing cancer. Right?
Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing.
Oh, yeah.
We're curing cancer, right?
I don't know why the tribal drums
curing
start,
cancer,
but I'm not
right?
offended.
Are those supposed to be the sound effects of her boobs moving up and down? Is that what AI thinks that boobs sound like?
I'm worried when it goes cloning us that we're going to have bongo boobs, but you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was something else we talked about a couple of weeks ago. It's like, I hope you guys understand this. Small boobs in AI are going to go away very, very quickly. Like, no one's trying to create small boob AI characters, right? It's just not going to happen.
It's just one of those things. Like, we're building data centers in order to make big boobs. I'm just telling you the truth, okay? It's all in an effort to make huge fake boobs. But yeah, that's what's going on, and like I think that's probably a good bombshell to end the show on, is Natalie Portman's fake Natalie Portman's huge honkers.
Yeah, we have to make this is not the real Natalie Portman, because Natalie Portman would not be very happy about.
Natalie Portman would have back problems.
But so this is the other thing too. This is why we're talking about this weird gray area, right? Because it's like, yeah, it's Natalie Portman from a role that she did 25 years ago. It's not actually Natalie Portman in that sense. It's the character from the Star Wars thing. So it's like, is it Disney that should be pissed off about this? Is it Natalie that should be pissed off about this, right? Because it's like, yeah, you can go out there.
Definitely Natalie.
Exactly right. You can go out there and make, Natalie Portman, give her H cups and make her bounce around like this. You can also give Hayden Christensen a saxophone and make him play some jazz song from the 1940s. There's a lot of things that you can do with AI that would be questionable at best. Let's just call it that, right?
Yeah.
And then some people will try to make the argument of, parody, that, it's just parody law. Again, these are lines that are not very well defined at the moment, right? Because it's like, if you were trying to claim that this is parody, then you're going to have some context to back up that claim. And that so...
It can be, I guess, but honestly, what it is it is taking control of a actress's appearance. And that's where the big legal battle is going to be fought about this, is AI taking command of illegal. Like, they can fit her with prosthetic boobs in real life for a movie where she has to have a large chest. So that's not what we're arguing here, is that it would be impossible to have Natalie have huge boobs. That's not what we're arguing. It's just the AI is taking command of her face to enable this. Yeah. And that is how she makes her money, is selling her face. And
let's be honest. This is why Cease and Desist was made. Let's use the example of, let's say, Elizabeth Olsen, for example, who plays Scarlet Witch in all the Marvel movies, right? You can do a lot of things with, that particular portrayal of her character as the Scarlet Witch. If you're going to challenge that, are you challenging this based off of the intellectual character of Scarlet Witch? Are you basing this based on the actress who plays the character, where you're not really portraying her, you're portraying her playing the character that she's playing? Like I said, I'm not even going to pretend to be a lawyer in this aspect and be like, and make the arguments, because this whole debate is going to happen with people who are far smarter than I am. They're going to make arguments one way or another that, in all honesty, at this point, I can't really argue hard against one way or another.
Well, here's the thing, is that even if they manage to tame one AI, there's 100 others out there, and you can make your own now very easily. It's not as hard as it was. Now, to get it to generate all this stuff, you do need a data center and things like that. But if you just want to make a one-off picture of Natalie Portman with huge cans, you can definitely build an AI in your basement that does that. You don't even need a basement to do it. You build it in a closet if you want. And the thing is that, so they can hammer that out, all this stuff. They can even hammer out that you can't put prompts in to tell a character that a known actress has a different body type. They won't allow you to even make a muscular version of Natalie Portman or a gender swap version and things like that. And this is where you're headed to, is that the legal controls on AI are going to create the stratification of AI, which will cause it to become like much more powerful and also much more unstable. Because much like,
and not only that, you also got to look at it from this perspective too. The essentially the nerfing of what they're trying to do is only for the video portion of this. It has no effect on the photo portion of AI that you can easily manipulate to get what you want, and then you just take the manipulated photo and turn that into a video, and the AI prompt can't stop that, right? So like I said, you're trying to essentially like hold your finger in one hole so that the water doesn't get through, then the water pokes through another hole, and eventually you're going to find out you don't have enough fingers to plug up all the holes.
Well, and that's just it, is that, like, consider this. You don't need to tell the AI that Natalie Portman stands up and shakes her gazungas, all right? You just need to tell the AI that the female character on screen stands up and jiggles her gazungas.
Yeah.
And that makes the prompt even harder to find, though, Jacob, if there was ever a discovery attempt, because they can't find that prompt in a pile of thousands of prompts that may have been about jiggling gazungas. They're not going to find that Natalie Portman 1 off, 2 off, 100 off even. And that's the thing, is that the complication around this is only going to be for high profile uses like C-Dance.
Yeah.
That's the only legal application that they can afford to do, because globally AI is not going to obey what they want.
And like I said, this is another thing, genie in the bottle, right? We're arguing based on the moral obligations of making a fictional character's boobs jiggle, right? There's far more seedier things going on with AI that should be a little bit more concerning, like people trying to bring their dead relatives back from the dead using AI, which to me is kind of a huge no-go zone. I would not recommend anyone do that like at all. Yeah, right. I mean, not even that, because I mean, even that, it's done in the sense of parody. But there's people who are like legitimately trying to bring back their dead loved ones too.
A church AI generated Charlie Kirk.
Oh yeah, that was a
and
while
then
ago,
they AI generated Charlie Kirk saying he's all right, and he's on the other side, and they were like, "This is what we think Charlie would say." It's like, it doesn't matter what you think.
Yeah.
He's dead, so he can't say that.
Exactly.
And yet you have made him say that. This is, again,
But
I have
this is the thing, though, right? We just talked about this. This is you trying to make someone, a real person, try to mimic the image that you have of that person. This isn't you taking a character and doing kind of whatever you want with it. This is a real life person that you're trying to essentially, quite literally, imprint your opinions and thoughts into that person, making it seem like that person said it.
Yep. But that is the end of the show for tonight. Yeah, it's a bit like Minority Report. Pre-crime, in a way. Different kind of pre, but yeah. Anyway.
We're not acknowledging that on YouTube. We're not on Rumble.
There we go. It's like the Game Grumps joke about Obama laughing so hard he's going to pray. I love that. I love that.
Yeah, quick answer there. If your relatives or anyone you know is dead, let them die. Do not try to resurrect them.
That's kind of the
they're
point
gone.
of it. Right?
We can argue about the ins and outs and the gray areas of living people. Leave the dead be dead. That's kind of where that's a line that I don't want to go anywhere near.
That seems fair. But Jacob, when the show's over, where do we find you?
You can find me over at Society Reviews on YouTube. I'm currently working on a Digimon series, a Christian-based Digimon series, kind of this non-canon thing that I've been working on. It started off as a small idea, and essentially it's now crafted itself into 12 episodes at the moment. The animation is getting a lot better. The story is starting to tell itself too. This is just something that I've wanted to do for a while, and now I kind of have the ability to do so. I'll figure I'd bring it to life and put it on YouTube. So you can go check that out over there. I'm also doing the 511 show, which talks about biblical content and things going on in the world. Obviously, the war that's totally not happening right now is a big topic of conversation. Tuesday nights, we do the Bar Room exclusively on Rumble. I say that the show is a lot better on Rumble, where we don't have to play the YouTube game and figure out what we can say and not say. And some things we go a little too far. I think last week's episode, there was a lot of racism that probably maybe even a little too far there. You know, we'll work on that on future episodes. But yeah, go check that out over on Rumble side. Sunday, I do the Bible Lens. So I'm at a point now where I'm kind of doing a lot of things, which is keeping me busy, which is kind of good. So you'll always find me doing something there. So.
All right, guys. And as always, good luck out